Perfect. 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 Perfect.
Slow laptop? How about one? Perfect. Perfect.
What up, fam? What's going on? What's cooking? What's happening? Y'all heard it. Saints, they got to win. They got to win, baby. Big ups to the black and gold, man. We got to win. So, how y'all doing? I know the fam in the building. How y'all doing? Who that? Who that? Who that to all the black and gold? We in the building, man. Who that? Like I said, family, we did some things good. We're gonna talk about what's up to the family. How y'all doing, man? Welcome to the Sports Coma live stream. So, just a second. Let's tweak a few things. Get it together. Well, this one here, fam, we're going to talk about it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Who that, daughter? What's going on, baby? Who that? Welcome to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, man. And we covering this one. And I got to say, man, the Saints, they look pretty good. Who that, Kevin? What's good, baby? He said, looks like we finally got ourselves a return man. Man, that dude looked good, didn't he? We're going to recap it today, Bill. We're going to talk about it. That's one of the main things we need to talk about today. I like how Deontay Harris played today, man. He looked pretty good. He looked pretty good, family. And that's what we're going to talk about on podcast 412. I think it's 412. It's a lot of podcasts, man. Should be 412. But I know this is a live stream number 19. So Saints did a pretty decent job. They fell behind, then came back. So what do y'all think about that, family? Y'all think that was okay? It was all right. We're going to recap that today. In this episode, live stream post-game edition of the Sports Coma. And it was actually pretty good, man. It was exciting. We were behind. I was kind of peeved at first. But, we're going to cover it today. We're going to have some interviews by Coach Payton. We're going to play Coach Payton's interviews, post-game thoughts on the game. We also have Elvin Kamara, AJ Klein, and others. We're going to play momentarily. We're going to go over the statistics of the game, break down analogy. And then later on, we'll open up the phone lines so the family can chime in and we can get their thoughts. We'll open up the lines and see what you guys are thinking in the live chat. So, I mean, it was pretty good. Pretty good. Wasn't excellent, but, it was all right. Can't be too hard on Teddy Bridgewater. Now, he was sick tonight. I don't know if y'all know that. But he played despite the fact he was sick coming to this one. I think one of the commentators might have mentioned it. But just in case y'all didn't see it, understand that Teddy Bridgewater was actually sick. He was sick tonight. So don't be too hard on old Teddy Bridgewater, just to let you know. But we're going to get into it as the fam trickles in to the live stream, man. And it's pretty good, man. So I like to start off by saying welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. And we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. Of course, I'm Big Q. And in this one, recapping the Saints win over the Chargers. And anytime you can get a win, man. In the postseason, regular season, preseason, I don't give a damn where it is. As long as you can get a win there, I'm cool with it. I'm just going to be honest with you. A win is a win in my book. And the Saints need this win. They should have won last week against the Vikings. But this was a pretty darn good win. They went up there and got it. They had to come from behind and take it, of course. But big credit to the Saints in many different ways. We'll go over today. They win 19-17 in the second preseason game. And I like the rant and rave about, although I really like Taysom Hill's performance in this one. As usual, he just electrified them coming into it. Then the Saints defense must be given credit to as they completely shut down the San Diego Chargers second string offense. in the second half while the Saints strung together a series of points to be able to move ahead and win this game. Early on, the Saints were pathetic in the first half. They lost the first half of the game 17-3 and ultimately shut them out in the second half and put some scores together to ultimately get their first preseason win, which is good. Big ups to the Saints on this one, man. And as the family trickles more into it, yeah, Sean, who that, Sean? I seen he said sup. What Sean said, what else needs to be seen to make up their mind on who should be the number 2 quarterback? Who that, Dada? Dada's in the building as well. And it's just one of them things, man. If you take a good look at what the Saints were able to put together, who that to you, Kevin? He said a Zigbo look good. Crass in the building, who that to you, dog? And it was something else to see Taysom Hill electrified once again. That is nothing new, but my question's always been whether or not, Taysom Hill's accuracy was the issue. That was the deal. Now, what did Taysom Hill show you? Did he prove to you guys that he's just a utility knife? The guy called him a Swiss Army knife. Is that all Taysom Hill is? Who that to you, Tyrone? Who that to you, Nolan's kid? Who that, babies? Welcome to the live stream. What did Taysom Hill show some of you guys tonight, man? Because a lot of talk about Taysom Hill is just a utility guy, just a gadget guy. Sometimes we forget the man was a quarterback. And you seen some of them long passes Taysom Hill was dropping on him. Them windows, those soft touch pass that he was putting in windows are difficult. Most veterans couldn't make that pass, but Taysom Hill was able to do it. His deep ball throw, he showed a lot today. And I know I'm just talking about Taysom, but we're going to talk about it all today, man. It's a 2-hour live stream post game from the Sports Coma. Very proud of the Saints win over the Chargers as tight as it was, 19-17. Really, really interesting win. Now, getting into some of the team statistics as I like to start off. Actually, I'm going to start off by talking about Teddy Bridgewater. And, Sean Payton just mentioned this not too long ago that Bridgewater was sick. And he thought about taking him out of the game a little bit earlier. But since he only had 2 QBs available, he wanted to keep Drew sidelined. He also stretched that Bridgewater, quote, didn't get a lot of help while the Saints offense struggled in the first half. And that kind of said that, kind of take the pressure off of Teddy Bridgewater that he was sick in the game. And he most certainly did look sick. I'm not going to tell you no different. He really did look sick. He looked crappy out there. He looked absolutely trash. He looked terrible. His passes were sailing over people's head. He was throwing behind people. And he must have been sick because he did a complete 180. Some would argue with me and say he did a 360. Who that to you, Jermaine? I see you, baby. Who that, Dada? As the guys started coming into the building. Teddy Bridgewater looked terrible, but he was sick, according to Sean Payton. We'll play a little bit of that. Sean Payton's post-game, Elvin Kamara, A.J. Klein, and others momentarily. So without further ado, family, let's get into the 1917 win as the Saints were able to get over the Chargers. And coming from behind, gutsy performance in their building to come from behind and get this win as they shut them out in the second half to put the win on them. And starting with some of the first downs, the Saints 19-16 on the first downs, total plays 62-62, total yards. Saints 324 yards versus 304 yards by the Chargers. Total drives, Saints 14, Chargers 12. Yards per drive, the Saints had over 5 yards per drive while the Chargers was just under that at 4.9. Altogether, 161 yards passing for the Saints passing offense, 226 for the Chargers passing offense. Rushing the balls, the Saints did really well, 163 yards on the ground at almost 5 yards in a rush attempt with 33 attempts there. So the Saints did damn good, 163 rushing yards. And then 78 yards against the Chargers. So they completely knuckled down and stopped the Chargers from even doing anything. Kind of made them one-dimensional, so to speak. 78 yards rushing, 3.3 yards per rush on 24 rushes. That's pretty damn good. One thing I'm not really excited about, the fact that the Saints were 1-5 in the red zone. That is terrible. That was nearly not as bad as it was against the Vikings. This is worse, but 1 of 5 performance in the red zone has to change. Of course, I think that'll get better once the big dogs roll in like Drew. That'll change a bit. The Chargers were 0-1 in the red zone, and then penalties. Saints had 8 penalties for 89 yards. The Chargers couldn't get out their own way. 11 penalties for 111 yards. Saints turned the ball over 3 times, Chargers 2 times. Saints lost the fumble and had an interception. And, of course, the Chargers had 2 interceptions. Saints got 2 interceptions off of them. Chargers won the time of possession battle 31-34. And the Saints had 28-26 on that amount. So 324 total yards for the Saints, 304 for the Chargers, 3 turnovers for the Saints. Despite the 3 turnovers, the Saints were still able to make things happen in this game, which had an attendance of just under 23,000 people. And, of course, we always know that the black and gold family always seem to travel well. We were out there yelling louder than the Chargers fans in their own damn soccer building, because that's what it is. It's a soccer building, and we were just good. We were out there. We go there and we take everything over. So a lot of our fans travel very well. Proud of the black and gold family, and they're cheering the team on in the building. So looking pretty good. And the family, it's very interesting, man. And the family right here, they busting up Banjo. Yeah, that was Banjo. We can't crucify PJ Williams this time. It wasn't on PJ. That was on Chris Banjo. He was completely lost on that play. He didn't know whether he was supposed to rush or he was supposed to drop in the coverage. He was absent. That's why I've been saying that, family, about Chris Banjo, that the only way he makes the team is as your special teams guy, him and Justin Hardy. Hardy's really stepping up and turning into something right before our very eyes. He had a handful of plays that looked really good. I didn't like the play toward the end of the game, but, man, Justin Hardy really starting to turn into something. But Chris Banjo was awful. And I tell you that. If anytime you got Chris Banjo starting for you, you're in trouble. He's just not a very good safety. And the only reason why he's in the league is because he does play special teams. So if you can if a guy like Saquon Hampton can make a run on Chris Banjo, it could possibly be something. I definitely think he can push Chris Banjo as far as the safety position goes. But he's so valuable when it comes down to the special team end of it that you definitely want to keep him in some regard. So, I understand on that. But that's not on PJ Williams. I can't put that one on him. That was definitely on Chris Banjo, who, if he don't get any better, luckily for him, boy, he's a special teams ace, man, because that's a safety he needs. He has a lot to be desired. I mean, seriously. Crash says Taysom Hill was my MVP today. Rifle arm, escapability, darts, made things happen. I was impressed with his play as well as Deontay Harris on punt returns. We are really turning into something as far as Deontay Harris is concerned, and I ain't see much on Cyril Grayson, but Deontay Harris, his speed is undeniable. He has the vision. The only thing that's stopping the Saints from being better on the punt returns and kick returns is the goddamn unit itself. They don't perform enough blocks. Many of those plays, Deontay Harris had to just use his elusiveness and his speed to kind of get around the edges. Had he had some blocks, he could have broke one of those today, and we could have possibly seen a punt return for a touchdown in a very long time. He getting close and close and close. But they have to get better. This damn team has to get better on the kick return, punt return aspect of it, in blocking for the punt return or the kick returner. They have to get better at that. I mean, they absolutely suck in that in that. They had a few times when they were actually all right, but I read to you guys the article some time ago. I think it was yesterday or the day before that, when I read you it was yesterday's podcast or live stream, when I talked about Rizzy, the new special teams coach, taking the special teams people back to basics, because that's what the hell. Why would I need to take you back to basics if you know what you're doing? And I think that's one of the things that's really kind of killing the Saints on the kick return. Had he had a few more blocks, he could have broke at least 1 or 2 of those punt returns, kick return. Awesome player, Deontay Harris. He is absolutely awesome. Awesome. And you see the same thing you did in the Minnesota Viking games. This guy can make it happen. I'm glad the Saints were intelligent enough and, good enough to find this guy and make things happen. So big ups to him. You know, Larry, what's up? Who that, Larry? Who that to you, baby? Who that? We are the Who Dat Nation, baby, is in the building. Who that to you, fam? Dada, who that to you? Jermaine, Paul, who that family, all in the building. Now, it was Crash said he threw a dart to Butler. He dropped it. Yeah, Butler got to get it together, man. Don't make me compare you to Brandon or Coleman here. Because, like I said, some of these guys are going to start stepping up here. Traven Durrell made some catches in this game, too, now. He dropped one in the previous game. He made a couple of catches. But when Emmanuel Butler dropped that damn ball, I ain't see him anymore. I mean, I seen Sammy Cobbs Jr. out there. I seen LaJordan Humphries running around. You know, I seen Traven Durrell make a few of them. But come on now. You know, you got the spotlight on you, and don't show the family that you can't handle the spotlight. Hit you right in the hands, and, you know, he should have had that. Crash said, what's up with Keith Kirkwood? He's sick, too. Keith Kirkwood is still hurt, bro. He was in the pregame show we had. I read the injury report. He was the only one on the injury report that was listed as questionable there, Crash. So that's why you didn't see him. We played on a sloppy field, made mistakes, and still won thanks to Hill, but we need to improve. Yeah, it was definitely Taysom Hill in the second half that helped spawn the Saints or propelled the Saints to a win in this one. I mean, his two touchdowns and the fact that he was running around there when nothing was happening, I mean, that was that was totally, in many aspects, Taysom Hill doing that. Dada says, I believe Hampton takes Banjo jobs easily. He does take his job as far as the safety goes on the team. It pushes him back to the third safety role where he belongs, speaking of Chris Banjo, but not push him off the team, because I don't think Saquon Hampton could reproduce what Chris Banjo does as a special teams ace. That's the reason why Banjo, Hardy, and for many reasons, Vance Vigil is here as well. Those guys provide a very, very excellent special teams element there. And that's why they're on the team. As you can see, Chris Banjo is not a very good safety. I've been saying that. If he's playing for you, you're in trouble. He just doesn't have it. He needs way more work. And he's been in this league. But I just think that he is just all he is a special teams guy. He should not be playing in any action for you. If you need somebody to come in extended time, please don't call Chris Banjo. But that's pretty much what Chris Banjo is. That's not the secret, family. That's not a secret. I've been yelling about that. I've been telling you about that he's not a guy that you won't call on in any capacity as far as that's concerned. Dada says, I believe Hampton takes Banjo job. Either Crash said they had a soccer match on it last night. The fields were messed up. Players kept slipping. That's true. The Saints still that's a problem. It's a damn soccer stadium. You know, it's not a real football stadium. For whatever reason, they ain't want to stay in San Diego. They wanted to hurry their ass up to Los Angeles before the stadium was done next year, this big old stadium. They're going to mimic what the New York teams do, where the Jets and Giants play out of the same stadium. They're going to do it in New York because the NFL just got to have money. They just got to have all the money in the world. They just got to have two teams in the same market, even though that's foolish to me. I never understood that. I think that robs other teams or other cities of having an opportunity to have a professional team. Why the hell will one area have two teams is beyond me. It's foolish. Maybe one of those teams can go to play out of San Antonio or what have you, or go somewhere else. But it's just how greedy these people are. Who that, Robert? Who that, Tony? Who that, Kevin? Welcome to the live stream, babies. They all in the building. And before we won't get back into reading some more of those comments, family, and we're gonna talk about it. Let me hit you with some more. Let's play a little Coach Payton right here. Coach Payton's gonna break down his thoughts on. Let's cue him up. The family queuing him up. But let's hear what Coach Payton had to say about the post game, about the game, about the team's. I guess you could say their mindset and how he's seeing it in his mindset. His Coach Payton.
It was obviously two different halves. A lot of things that were frustrating, discouraging, things that we're going to have to clean up when we watch the tape tomorrow. And then some things that were more encouraging in the second half. So by no means is it a game you come away from and and feel like, man, you're ready for the regular season to start. We've got a lot of work still to do. So I thought we played pretty good defense early in the game. I thought offensively we were awful.
How much stock do you put in a quarterback like Taysom leading your team back to a lead?
Look, it's always been a game of emotion and momentum, and I thought he did a really good job with that. I mean, that's real. And so quite a bit of stock.
Is that an example of like a lot of the things that he can do well? A lot of the
I was encouraged. I think he's had a good camp. He and Teddy both, I feel like, have progressed, and I've seen it day in and day out at practice. Teddy was sick, and I probably should have gotten him out of the game earlier, but we weren't going to play Drew, and then Taysom came in and did a really good job.
Are you calling things grossly different with Taysom?
I think it's easier to do when they're in as a starter for a game. It's a little bit more challenging as you put a plan together. I thought Pete did a good job of, utilizing some of the things that those guys do maybe differently than Drew. But yeah, you're trying to maybe highlight some things that they do specifically well. Now, some of them were just scrambles, and and he's pretty good when he's running. He did. He should have caught the one that landed on the ground. That bothered me. So there's a little bit of you don't know what you're going to get, and yet, man, you see some good signs. So I'm encouraged, but just some of the details he's got to work on. But he's certainly confident, and you see his quickness.
You said Teddy was sick. You feel like that played a role?
Well, look, it was. He didn't get a lot of help. There were a lot of dirty hands in those drives early on offensively. I mean, we get the ball inside the 50, and we just did a poor job. That's why I felt like it was really two different halves when you watch the game.
Do you have maybe some of the incompletions Teddy rushed, or maybe
I'd want to see the film before I evaluate each one.
The one I was thinking about was the incompletion of Butler earlier in the game. He scrambled away from the defense.
Yeah, I'd want to see the film.
Coach, how much do you want to see the film? Because obviously there were 2 turnovers inside the 10-yard line. Was this something you were talking about?
Yeah, listen, make no mistake about it, and I said it, I think, at the beginning, there's some things that are just, eat at you a little bit that we can't do as a team and expect to win against good teams. Those are the things that we've got to get corrected.
Job Trey Hendrickson did today. He seemed to be disruptive. Could you talk about him a little bit?
He's had a good camp. I like where his weight's at. He plays with great energy and effort, and I'm anxious to watch and get the grades, but I thought he was active as well.
Is there anything in particular that's been holding him back the last few years?
Well, it's his 3rd year. So last year, I thought his weight got a little light, and I think this year he's playing a little stronger, a little heavier. All right, thank you.
That's Coach Payton, family. Coach Payton. That's the old ball coach breaking it down. And that's something, if you think about it, what Coach Payton's breaking down, man, is like you say, you got to look at the tape. And there were a lot of mistakes early on in the first half, as a lot of you guys bear witness to. And it was, like I said, the offense was stagnant because obviously, like Coach Payton just revealed, the fact that the Saints, that Teddy Bridgewater was sick. And boy, I tell you, he's no Michael Jordan, man. You can't have Michael Jordan has the flu game and score, I don't know, what was it, 50 points, something like that. Teddy Bridgewater damn sure ain't no Michael Jordan. When he's sick, his whole game looks sick. I mean, I was like, what the heck is wrong with this dude? What's wrong with him? But that's the Coach Payton just showed him that he was actually not feeling too good, family. So who that the Quincy chiming in the building? Who that Derek in the building? Who that Robert? Who that Adrian in the building? Who that Devin? Who that Revolt Control Radio? The family's all together and getting together in the building, family. Watching the game, Saints were able to get one. We were able to stick it to them, family. We snuck out one on the Chargers. 19-17, regardless of what happened. Now, we went through the team statistics a little early in just a minute. I think we got Elvin Kamara coming up next. Elvin Kamara, we'll hear from him. Actually, I think it's Trey Hendrickson. We'll have Trey Hendrickson. We'll hear what he has to say, even though he probably wouldn't have much to say. But, I mean, it was okay. I mean, I'm not really that third. I'm happy we got the win. Who that will? But I'm happy we got the win over the Chargers. A win is a win to me, you know. I'm just going to be honest with you. Some look pretty, some look bad. But this one, family, showed a little heart. You showed a lot of heart to come back in this one, didn't it? You know, to come back in. And a lot of that is the responsible. We could say who was responsible for that is Taysom Hill, in many regards, was responsible for this good comeback. The defense locked down the Chargers offense and shut them out in the second half, while the offense put points together with touchdowns, and ultimately we were able to catch up with them and pass them and win this game. So it was actually all right. It was okay. So, you know, that was actually okay. Let's go into some of our statistics here, fam. We're gonna run it down to you. We already went through the team statistics earlier. It is the Saints finished individual statistics. Taysom Hill was 11 of 15 for 136 yards, 2 touchdowns. He averaged 9.1 yards every time he threw the ball. Pretty good. He was sacked twice for 15 yards, but had a QB rating of 140.6. Pretty good for Taysom Hill. Teddy Bridgewater, he was sick, 5 of 12 for 40 yards in a pick. He looked really sick in this one. Taysom Hill was also the top rusher. So Taysom Hill led the team in passing, and he was the top rusher. He scrambled 5 times for 53 yards. The longest was a 23-yard scamper, and 5 carries for 53 yards. He averaged almost 11 yards a rush. Taysom Hill, a weapon of epic proportions. Dwayne Washington was behind him, 5 carries for 30 yards. Devine Zigbo carried the ball 8 times for 30 yards, just about 4 yards a carry. Jaquiz Rogers, 5 carries for 20 yards. Elvin Kamara had 4 carries for 15. Latavius had 4 for 13. Zach Line, 1 for 2. Teddy Bridgewater, nothing. 1, and he didn't really get anything. Now, from the passing perspective, Austin Carr had 1 catch for 27 yards and a touchdown. He was targeted twice. He got his first touchdown of the season and preseason. Devine Zigbo, 3 catches for 23 yards, and he had a touchdown as well. Cyril Grayson, 1 catch for 23 yards. Traven Darrell caught 2 for 23 as well. LaJardan Humphreys had 1 for 18. Ted Ginn had 2 for 17. Traquan, 1 for 16. Sammy Cobbs Jr., 2 for 14. AJ Derby, 1 for 8. Jared Cooks had 1 for 4. Zach Line, 1 for 3 yards. And that's pretty much it is on the wide receivers for the Saints. Now, outside of that, the turnovers, Teddy Bridgewater fumbled 1 away and it lost. Devine Zigbo got crushed in the red zone and ultimately gave 1 up. That wasn't good. And, you know, in the rookie, he has to do a little something better than that. But, I mean, that linebacker came down on him and absolutely leveled him. I don't know if that was Denzel Perryman. I think it was the other guy that just kind of destroyed him there. But the Zigbo was getting lit up in this one. I ain't gonna lie. The guys they was trying to bring the pain to him in this one, and one guy just leveled him good and got the best of him. So really, really interesting, man, to be honest with you, dealing with this whole situation. But I like it, man. I like the fact that the Saints fought from behind and got this win. You know, I'm just going to be honest with you. It was damn good. And it's a win, family. You can't be mad about that. Who that DLP 2600's in the building? Who that to your elite goods? What's happening, baby? Welcome to the live stream. And that's something, man. I'm just going to be honest with you. It was a really nice battle. The Saints were able to come out. It was entertaining. And I wanted to see if this young Saints squad had enough to kind of, in the end, rescue itself, so to speak. But let's play a little bit more interviews. We're going to talk about the defense. I'm going to spin some more interviews. We still got Elvin Kamara coming up. We got AJ Klein. But let's hear from Trey Hendrickson and see what his thoughts was after the game. Here's Trey Hendrickson.
Every area of your life, just this one.
Did you see something in particular that allowed you to be disruptive today, especially?
At the end of the day, it's just want to, but like I said, I need to finish plays that were left out there, and that's what I plan on to do moving forward.
Do you feel like you've had a good camp? Preseason so far?
it's preseason. I'm just putting stuff out there and letting everybody else evaluate it.
Does it feel better to you than the first 2 years? Like, do you feel, I don't know, mentally better or physically better than the first 2 years?
I mean, that's the goal going into every year, is to be better mentally and physically, so I plan to do that every year.
Trade leverage, how I know you guys work on it all the time, but is that something you feel like you've gotten significantly better at?
Just listening to Ryan in the meeting rooms, and where to place your hands and eyes and stuff like that. It's just those are things that help you see things quicker, and it's just a focus. And like I said, it's a everyday thing. So.
Do you think there's anything maybe that held you back? You're going to the NFL at first, that you changed from year to year?
No, but I wasn't going to leave anything in doubt this year.
Trey, how much do you and your teammates feed off of Taysom Hill and that energy shows, or do you all feed off?
Yeah, he brings a different element to the game. When a quarterback's dropping his shoulder, it's always fun to watch. So I love him. He's a great special teams guy, and he brings it every day.
Everyone else? Perfect. Thank you.
And he's a great quarterback too. I play with him.
Taysom Hill giving his information, his insight, family. And that's one of the things to make mention of, is the fact that you look at what the Saints was able to do. And of course, a lot of people like the aspect of Taysom Hill, the athlete, the guy dropping the shoulder, running over people, and opting to get 3 or 4 extra yards as opposed to take the sideline route. You got to respect his mind. But that was a question I posed to the family, and I kept saying it over and over again. What does Taysom Hill look like with accuracy? Well, we've seen a glimpse of it tonight when I said there's nothing wrong with his deep ball. You've seen him throwing that deep ball with that touch. You've seen it. But my thing is, what does he look like in the intermediate routes underneath and all this kind of stuff? Well, you've seen some of that from Taysom Hill. You've seen him relax. You've seen him going through his progressions. You've seen him keeping his eyes downfield despite the fact that the pass rush is coming near him. You've seen him being patient in the pocket, wait for things to develop and making throws. You also seen him with the pocket collapsing around him and him deciding to get the hell out of there. So in the end, you've seen what we were talking about. And even Sean Payton said that the heir apparent that Drew Brees is in the building when he first brought this guy in here. So a lot to talk about dealing with Taysom Hill and this team. But I want to give out grades today. Usually after every game, usually on the podcast, what we'll do is I'll go through a grading system and I give the offense, the defense, the special teams a grade. And I invite you guys to do the same in the chat. We're going to give them grades today and see what this team looks like, despite the fact. But I got to say, I'm really impressed with Taysom Hill, man. And I said that I like him on everything else, but what does he bring with accuracy? Can he actually stand in the pocket and be a quarterback? He showed glimpses at tonight. And to be honest with you, in large part, this is Taysom Hill's win. To be honest with you, he the one that orchestrated. He came in with his energy, him scrambling, his throws that he made. He basically helped wield this team to its first preseason win. So big ups to him as well. He looked very good in this, and I got to give the man credit. He played very well. Looking at some of the defensive stats before we go to our next interview, which will more than likely be Elvin Kamara. He'll be up next. We'll hear what old Elvin got to say momentarily. But folks, let's go over some defensive stats, family, and see what the defense looked like statistically speaking. Individual defensive stats anyway. Caden Ellis led the team with tackles. He had 6. Darnell Sankey had 6. Demario Davis had 5. Porter Galston had 4 tackles as well. He was very active in the game. He had a tackle for loss in the game. P. Rob had 4 tackles. Colton Jumper had 4 tackles and a pick. He almost had a pick 6. So it was that he jumped the route, and that was his namesake. Took it in, but it didn't count because of a penalty. A.J. Klein had 4 as well. Dwayne Washington had 3 tackles. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson had 3. Vince Bigel had 3. Kevon Webster had 2 tackles. So did Von Bell, who made a really nice play coming over the top and knocking the ball away. He had a good pass defense that time. Chris Banjo, despite him blowing several plays, he was still able to collect 2 tackles. Ken Crawley had 2 tackles. Marcus Williams had 2. Shai Tuttle had 2. And then, of course, a barrage of different players from Carbon Kafuzi, who had a pass defense and a tackle, P.J. Williams, Trey Hendrickson, who had one tackle. I don't know why he was up there talking on the mic like he had done something. Marshawn Lattimore and the rest of the guys all had one tackle. We were finally able to see Wes Horton, who had a tackle in the game as well. So, man, it's interesting, man, to see exactly how the Saints some answers, not all answers to the questions I was able to get. I do know Deontay Harris is obviously something special. We could see that. Cyril Grayson has blazing, burning speed. So it was interesting to see that as well. So before we get to the interview with Elvin Kamara, let's see what some of the family talking about in this one. Jermaine says the first defense played damn good at the beginning of the game. Paul says, let's see, pretty bad. Jermaine says Banjo pretty good on special teams. Let's see what the family. And Paul says he's as quick as old Mel Gray. Old Mel Gray, the old kick returner. Crash says Marcus Shrells don't get off the training table. He's losing the job to Deontay Harris. I don't know. I still say, if Marcus Shrells can make it back, when he makes it back, I still think you would do better to keep both of those guys and to keep both Deontay Harris and Mark Shrells on your team. Ain't no doubt about that. Austin says, Austin Carr TD. We didn't give Austin no love. I remember lining it up to put a few things with Austin Carr together, a clap for Austin Carr because nobody clapping for him. But he had a touchdown, so big ups to him. We all, the Who Dat Nation says, we already lost his job to Harris. He got locked down. Harris's man is really turning it up. And I just think it's fantastic. We've been, like I said, kick return, punt return has been something that we need to do. We've been keeping an eye on it for some time, and it's just excellent. Who that Tyrone? He said D-line need to do better. No, most certainly. They did a lot better than the other preseason game when they didn't do nothing. So, I mean, it was a lot better. At least they didn't let them run for 200 yards on them. You know what I'm saying? There, Tony. And Tyrone, excuse me. Robert says offense struggled on third downs in the first half. On third downs and then on the red zone. Can't do that. Third downs and red zone is a major issue. Saints still got to work that out. Still a lot to learn. Coach going to put the tape on that and realize that some of that should have actually happened. They should have converted a lot of those plays. Turning the ball over like that, just ridiculous. Larry, who that? He says, so are we wasting our time with Teddy? A challenger showed that he ain't accurate. No, that tonight I can't say that, Larry, because the man was sick. According to what Sean Payton revealed to us, Teddy Bridgewater was sick. He wasn't really supposed to play in the game, but he gutted it up and played, and he didn't want to be without one quarterback shy. So we can't be that hard on him tonight. Trust me, I would drop an anvil on him, and credit and talk about the truth. But the man was sick, so I got to give him credit for at least playing, and not just leaving Taysom Hill out there, even though we probably would have loved to see Taysom Hill for a full game. I wouldn't have been mad at that. Grassy Austin Carr was a high school wide open on that TD. I think I could have found my way into end zone on that. Yeah, that was a good, but Taysom found him though. Taysom found him and got the ball to him, so that was good on his part. Kevin says, what is your thoughts on running back Murray? I like Latavius Murray. Despite we didn't see too much from him today, I still like Latavius Murray. I think he's a good player. And like I'm saying, you're not going to really see the true Latavius Murray until when the regular season starts and you see that he needs to get those tough yards. So that's something that we need to kind of be a little patient with Latavius Murray. I'm asking to have patience with Latavius Murray like I was asking last year to have patience with Eli Apple, being that he would just arrive. So let's have a little bit more patience with him. I know he's stepping into big shoes to fill with Mark Ingram gone, but we have to let Latavius Murray show us what he can do or not do. You know what I'm saying, family? Crash said Latavius tackle forward for a half yard, big dude. I like him, especially on third and short. He gonna fall forward every time. He never give up. That's the thing. He falls forward every time. It's never a minus with Latavius Murray, and that's a big thing. Quincy says defense came alive toward the end. They completely shut out the Chargers in the second half, which allowed the Saints offense to get going and seize the game. So it wouldn't be like the Minnesota affair when the Saints didn't stop their offense from scoring. They just was allowed to keep moving and doing what they had to do. Derek says, besides the fumble, Zigbo looked pretty good. He did, but he was going down. He slipped and he was going down. That linebacker caught him at the right play, put that helmet right on that ball. And I'm telling you, that was the perfect way to do it. And that'll cause a fumble 9 out of 10 times when you put that helmet on that ball. And he just got caught like that. And Robert says Lil Humphrey played good. He did. He had a few good blocks. He had 1 catch. Still like what I seen from here. Quinn says Zigbo did redeem himself after the fumble. Washington ran hard after the drop turn interception. Yep, he did. And these guys are fighting for spots in the battle. You know, they're fighting. They're fighting for an opportunity to win this team, to get on this team. They're fighting for their basically football lives with the Saints. Dada says if Vine start getting INTs, is going to be something serious for QBs. Von Bell is an incredibly productive guy. He's super intelligent. The thing that's kind of hurting him is the fact that he's back there, and we demand a lot out of our safeties. We demand a lot out of our safeties. And I'm thinking, like I said, we've been disrespecting Von Bell for a while. You go back and look at all his statistics, you'll see what I'm talking about Von Bell, but he's been super productive for a while. We're just not giving him his credit for whatever reason. You go and look at the tackle stats. He's either second or third, and for the last several years, Von Bell is in the top 3 as far as tackles go. He don't get interceptions, like you said. That's a part of it, but if he can change that around, he'll be something special. Adrian in the building, and and Paul says the Saints need to preach some stability and consistency on all areas above on the ball club. I don't see that right now. Too much Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yeah, you're right there, Paul. Like, you know, the tipping scales up and down, all around, up and down, up and down, up and down, defense up and down, offense up and down. One game, you know, it's 180 spins, 180 spins, 180. You know, it's a little too much. No consistency, and a lot of these guys getting on the field and seeing NFL action for the very first time too, Paul. So the lights on, and there's a lot of nerves going on, and these guys understanding the pressure that if they don't show up, they could possibly end up not making the team or being cut or what have you. And these guys doing everything they can to make the team. Revolt says Davenport looked bad. Not too much from Davenport. He did get some sacks in there against second team people. I thought he would do a little bit better. Not so much. Robert said I nominate T. Hill as edge rusher for Davenport and Jordan. Will said Will Musgrave, who that? He'll look good, stand in the pocket. See, that's the thing people was criticizing Taysom Hill about, that he didn't have the patience to stay in the pocket, that he did not have the patience to go through his progressions, that he did not have the patience to go through his reads, that he did not have the pocket awareness to understand when things are collapsing around him. Do we have the QB clock, the 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and take off? He showed some of that today. He showed a lot of that today. He showed he at first he threw the ball into the ground, and then all of a sudden we were saying, oh, here we go again, and then it changed. It all changed, and he found his rhythm. And it got me thinking. I said, you know what? Taysom Hill is a rhythm player, like Mark Ingram was a rhythm player. Some players need a certain amount of reps to get their feelings going, to get the rhythm going, so they can be able to get in the groove. And that's what Taysom Hill is, a rhythm player. So that's he's showing it. I agree with you there, Will. Jerome says I'm late to the who that we'll talk about. We talking Saints and the Chargers, my friend, and we got a lot to talk about. We still got a few interviews to go. Like I said, I'm gonna give out my grades. And I want y'all to give them out to offense, defense, special teams. We're going to go over that and see what the grades are on them. I got a few more interviews I want to play for y'all on this two-hour live stream. And then we're going to open up the phone lines so we can hear what you guys think. And y'all tell us exactly what y'all thoughts were on this game live on the show, or either live chat, questions, concerns, comments that you guys have. We'll go over them in the next 2 hours here and get it straight. So let's see here. Devin says, sick or not, you can throw a 5-yard pass. Devin says, sick or not, boy, you get paid too much money to not be able to complete a 5-yard pass. I mean, he was absolute. What he had, I mean, what kind of sickness he had? You know what? I mean, yeah, that's. I mean, ball. I was about to get to him. I was about to say, family, did y'all see Teddy Bridgewater? You know, and he's in a precarious spot because Drew Brees, who knows when Drew's leaving? It could be next year, it could be the year after. I don't know. I don't even think Drew knows. You know, if the Saints knew, I think, you know, we probably would see something out of it. But the fact that they elected to go for year just to see how far we go is really something else. And it puts us in a precarious situation because we have to look at Bridgewater and say, well, can he be the dude? I mean, he's done some things in the past, but I don't see this as old school Teddy Bridgewater. I don't see this. This is not Bridgewater I'm accustomed to seeing. I don't know who this guy is, but he played well the first one. He played commendable. He didn't blow the roof off the joint. But this game, he should have been a hell of a lot better than this. But, you know, that's another thing, man. We did it. So his arm had the flu. Oh, y'all guys, hard on a sick man, boy. I'll tell you what. Jerome said I like the top 3 linebackers. Caden Ellis looked real good in the game. You seen him calling plays? Real smart dude. Devin says, love the start in D. DLP 2600 says, sloppy first half. Second half, they came alive, though. And Lil Jordan Humphrey stuck out again. He looked pretty good. Elite Goods. Dada says Humphreys quiet in the practice. Butler balls in practice. Game time. Jordan making plays. Not Butler's name isn't called. Butler had a play. He dropped the ball, kind of slipped on the sideline. I mean, you got to catch that, man. And usually when that happens is because you're trying to make a catch without trying to turn without taking the ball with you. You know, he was trying to make a play before the ball was there, and that's what ended up happening. So not a good thing, man. And Elite Good says, don't make it look any better with the fumble. Butler made me sad today. He let me down. LOL Jordan will be on my roster. He's got a heck of, let's see here. What happened here? Let's see here. I don't know what happened. It's just okay. There we go. He got a heck of a bow and arrow. Quincy says Steve Young with power. Will says Hill looked like Steve Young. He's improving a lot. He has shown you that he can make the throws. Jerome said Bridgewater didn't like it. He just need to work on his accuracy. That's what we've been talking about. JT said we have some good young linebackers. Finally got some good young linebackers. You've seen Colton Jumper. You've seen Caden Ellis. You've seen Darnell Sinke, which is a guy nobody talking about. Darnell Sinke made some plays. And Ellis did look nice stepping in for Alex Anzalone. Quincy says, Jerome says, watch Hill's first touchdown. Bridgewater didn't say anything to him on the bench. What are you going to say to him? I will keep Teddy Bridgewater ass away from me as far as possible if he's sick. You know, and whatever he got, let's get his ass up out of there. Jermaine said, yeah, but Teddy was sick. Tyrone says Hill's good, not ready for a full game. I don't know, Tyrone. Who that to you? I don't know, man. If he keep playing like this, he might get an opportunity. Paul says, do you think Jumper made the practice squad with that pick 6 TD? Well, it wasn't a pick. It should have been a pick 6, but they pulled it back. He's just an interception. I still think Colton Jumper. This is his second stint with the team. So Sean Payton sees something in him that he likes. So I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you, Paul, if Colton Jumper did make the practice squad. I wouldn't be surprised about that. Revolt Control Radio says Taysom, B Davenport, F Hendrickson, F Bell, A. Hey, Demi, who that? Demi says Hill bought the wood. DLP said the linebackers play well. Tony says which wideouts are making the cuts. Thought it's still too early, buddy. You know, even I would throw Traven Darrell ass to the fire. But he made some plays today, even though he's the long shot, being that he came in late, despite the fact that he was here before. So, you know, before we get to finishing some of those commentaries, bro, let me get back up in here and we're gonna play some the Elvin Kamara starts, even though he didn't do too much. Let's hear what Elvin Kamara got to say about.
You know, we can't. It's tough when you have good field position and you have errors like that. But I mean, of course you don't want it to happen, but it happened. You got to move on to the next play. That's all I was just trying to echo to those guys.
What impressed you most about Taysom's performance in the second half?
I mean, we've seen it for a year, 2 years now. I mean, Taysom, whenever he has the ball in his hand and whenever he has, control of that offense, he does his job. He made some good plays, made some good runs, and just gave us some life in the second half.
Coach Payton said that Teddy was sick today. Could you tell a difference in him?
I knew he was sick, so I mean, it's tough. You know, we still gotta do our jobs when we're out here sick, not feeling well. You know, so hopefully it gets better soon.
I think that's all us, fam. We all got to do it when we sick.
Last year, how would you assess Deontay Harris's performance as a returner?
He's doing well. You know, I think he has a good knack for it. It looks natural, fluid. You know, just gotta lock in a little bit more and, you know, catch every ball. Every ball has to be caught. You know, it's different now. You know, we playing the game of field position. And, you know, I think he understands that. He had a couple good returns, and, you know, he's learning. It's only his second week back there fielding those punts, so he's learning.
A couple of injuries to your reserve alignment today. How ready are you guys to overcome or handle those injuries as you get into the part of the season that matters?
I think we'll be fine. We still got some time, and it's next man up. You know, hopefully those guys can get back healthy. Hopefully it's nothing too major. I'm not sure. I think Ola went down, and Clark went down. Not sure what the actual injuries are, but, you know, prayers for them, and hopefully they can bounce back. But, you know, guys, there's guys in that room that are ready to play, so we got next man mentality.
We have AJ Klein next. Yeah.
All right.
What did you see on that pick? Where early in the game?
Basically being in the right place at the right time. I mean, I didn't do anything special. The ball was tipped. Had pressure on the quarterback, forced a bad throw. So, right place, right time. I didn't do anything extraordinary.
That's AJ Klein coming up, family. AJ Klein is on the mic.
Yeah, I think coming off of last week, we were a little disappointed with a few big plays that we gave up, explosive plays. So coming back, we wanted to be able to be stout in the run game and obviously get off the field on third downs. I think we did that. So that was a step forward, but second and third groups, obviously we still have things to improve on. Some self-inflicted wounds, personal penalties, or personal fouls. But I think we came out in the second half, especially the fourth quarter, and definitely turned the momentum back in our favor. And obviously interception to seal the game too.
Trey Henderson was really disruptive early. What did you see from him?
I think Trey's been overlooked these past few years. Obviously, he's finally starting to find his niche in this defense. But he had a great week of practice all week, was very disruptive both days, and he's definitely coming on strong for us. And he's a great situational pass rusher for us, as well as a guy that can play teams. So I know he wished he would have had that sack that he got close on, but all that matters is he's getting the quarterback's face.
You've been with him obviously since his rookie season. So going from year 2 to year 3, what would you say is his biggest step that he's taken?
I think he has a great understanding for the defense. He really understands fronts, alignments, and he's definitely become a student of the game, and definitely working on his technique. And that goes to Coach Ryan and the defensive line, obviously working with these guys. But he came in a little heavier this year, which is good for him, and I think it's definitely paying off.
Doesn't seem like he's much of a talker.
No, Trey's very, very reserved, I think, as far as he keeps to himself. Obviously, he can be fiery on the field, which we like. Obviously, if we keep him in check, but I think he definitely brings a lot of positives to this football team, and I think he'll be a force to reckon with once the regular season comes. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
That's AJ Klein, fam. And I don't know if I agree with my man, AJ. No, much love to AJ Klein, man. But I don't know if I agree with your family. I don't agree. All these people saying, and I got to go to the store where they buying the script from for Trey Hendrickson. Oh, he's playing a little heavier. That's why he can't get it. So if he was if he was playing a little lighter, so if he'd gained a little bit more weight, that means he won't get sucked up so much by the offensive lineman. But for large stretches of this game, he was playing against second string competition. You know, explain that one away, family. But, you know, it's far from me to go and disagree with Coach Payton or AJ Klein on Trey Hendrickson. The mere fact that he's not producing any sacks is all I care about. He get to one guy, didn't get him, and all this kind of stuff. But I gotta give the Saints credit, defensive line credit, because they didn't look as terrible as they looked against them in the first time, against the first preseason game. They were completely awful. I mean, it's hard to look that bad the second time around. But credit has to be given as they really stiffened up in that second half, didn't allow any scores by the Chargers, and were able to get back in the game, take this game out of the hands of the Chargers. And it was awesome to see it, man, to be quite honest with you. Tyrone says, we see a lot going on, man. Davenport needs to kind of get a little bit better there. Jason, who that? Jason said, what up, Q? Hill showed up tonight. He deserves to be Breeze's backup so far to me. Give that man his props. He's earned it. I will have to agree with you, Jason. You know, I've always been a Taysom guy. I just think that the question with a lot of Saints people out there was what Taysom Hill, can he be an accurate passer? That was the thing. Now, he showed that today. He showed that he can make a barrage of different throws. And some of those throws were eye-opening throws because he was fitting. He was showed touch on the ball. So not only it was just power, because anybody can get over there and chuck the freaking thing downfield, but he showed touch on some of those passes in this game to help get things open. And it showed the ability to scan the field, find a wide open man, and then get the ball. He even made some pretty good throws to receivers as he was running. His only throw was that bad, that first throw that he had when he threw the ball at Dan Arnold's feet. But truth be told, Dan Arnold's feet probably would have caught the ball because his damn hands surely can't. But Taysom Hill, you got to give him respect. If the player of the game to me is definitely Taysom Hill, ain't no doubt about it. The Saints would have not won this game if it wasn't for Taysom Hill's contribution. He finished. He led the team in rushing. He obviously led him in passing because Teddy Bridgewater was sick. His game was sick. He was sick. And I'm sick of watching Teddy Bridgewater look like, trash. His first game, it was all right. But it's high aspirations for a guy like that. But Taysom Hill is going to make a fan of a lot of Saints people who don't think that he's nothing but a gadget guy. Don't underestimate that guy. I'm telling you, family. Don't underestimate him. Devin said, let me play as a QB. If he can throw this year, it will be dangerous. Ely Good said, I don't know what we had, but I'm sure it had something to do with his dizziness. Jerome says, I won't be surprised if Bridgewater gets traded. Wow. And, I hear you. If they don't see him as the heir apparent, why keep him here? You might be able to get a draft pick for him, perhaps. I don't know if they trade him, but crazier things have happened. I was the one saying that, nobody would trade, and look at all the stuff that happened in the basketball world recently. You talking about guys like Russell Westbrook getting traded? Are you kidding me? If that guy can get traded, of course a guy like Teddy Bridgewater can get traded. Anything can happen. Who that audit? And Garrett says seemed like the flu during his interview. I ain't want to see him on the field. I damn sure won't see him after the game's over with. D says, if it wasn't for Hill, we would have lost our second preseason game. Bell, Ellis, Harris, Grayson Jr., and Gustin, as well as Ezigbo, all played well. All of the young talent looked really good in this game, including, Bell made a few plays that were really nice. And we had a couple of guys that we need to put the question on them. So absolutely, that was well said there, D. Appreciate that. What's up, Willie? Willie, who that? He said, I'm in the house with Big Q. Butler. Look bad what I said about practice. It's that psychological thing, bro, we talked about. Can you turn it on in the game? That's when it matters. I don't care. Most of them guys, and we've seen this before. We've seen this when we had wide receivers come up in here, big wide receivers. Remember Brandon Coleman his last 2 years? Brandon Coleman was an excellent practice squad guy. He was practice player. He was doing all that stuff in practice, catching the ball over his teammates and all that kind of stuff. But when he get in the game, what'd he do? Disappear. How the biggest wide receiver in the NFL at the time disappear? He can't catch a pass over a 5'11" cornerback and you 6'6". That's psychological, And that was the thing that ultimately walked his ass out of the league. You have to know and understand that you belong here. If you don't belong here, then you're going to end up going somewhere where you belong, which is not, playing football. So it's obviously, I see that Emmanuel Butler has injuries, but he has a good meek spirit and soul. I like the kid. but he really have to step this game up, man. You got the spotlight on you, and that's a good and bad thing. Once you get the spotlight on you, you better show up. If you don't, they're gonna route you out. Like I said, he's not that far along the rest of those young wide receivers. To be quite honest with you, he's not that far along. I mean, like I said, it's a group of them, like we talked about in the pregame show. You know, you have guys like Sammy Cobbs Jr. running up in there. You got LaJordan Humphrey slowly gaining. Listen, fam, he's slowly gaining. Even though he caught the ball, he was running around, he making plays, he was blocking. LaJordan Humphrey is slowly getting there, and Emmanuel Butler dropping passes, and you got Traven Durrell starting to make a case. You got Deontay Harris running around. You got Cyril Grayson playing well. All those young wide receivers had a decent game today, except for Emmanuel Butler. He's not that far ahead of those guys. Remember, before minicamp even started, Emmanuel Butler was behind all those guys. LaJordan Humphrey was ahead of him in terms of popularity and performance. You know, he did that at Texas versus with Emmanuel did that for Northern Arizona, some team somewhere in the Division II or what have you. So, like I'm saying, you know, you get the spotlight because Sean Payton is obviously, he loves his wide receivers to be big, and if you're not big, he loves you to be fast. So this guy has the size, and he didn't perform he just came back and he just not performing. Look out, I'm telling you. Who that? Jay in the building. He said T Hill looking good. Audit. Who that? Can we get anything if we should trade Bridgewater? I don't know, Audit. I don't know if we get anything for that, man. I don't know, man. But let's give him opportunity, bro. They said he was sick, and he did perform well in the first game. Now, Devin made a good point. How sick are you where you can put on the uniform, walk out there, and you can't complete a 5-yard play? That's a great point, Devin. Big ups to you on that. That's a great point. Larry says T Hill full game in the 4th preseason. Demi says if Bridgewater was that ill, Hill should have went solo. How did he help himself or the team by playing sick? Great point, Demi. Great point. But Sean Payton didn't want to go into the game with one quarterback. He didn't want to play Drew Brees, even though Drew should have played in this game at least a series. What would have hurt Drew to play one series against one of the, in my opinion, the best offensive line in pro football? They were all out there. I would put Drew out there, you know, for a series or two with my offensive starters, you know, and then let Taysom have it for the rest of the day, because you could have got Teddy Bridgewater hurt if he was that sick. He looked terrible, and he pulled him early. If that was the case and he felt he was that sick, why you let him play the entire second quarter? Pull his ass out of there and put Taysom Hill. We'd have been won the game if that's the case, you know. So, you know, who that, Randy? What's happening, baby? Welcome to the live stream. Emmanuel Butler disappointed me a bit. He did it to me too, bro. That drop pass on the sideline was terrible. He should have caught that. Jerome said, Q, stop it. You can't down your teammates. I can't down the team. I'm not downing the teammates, Jerome. I'm not downing them. You talking about Trey Hendrickson? Trey Hendrickson is not performing. I'm going to give you credit what credit's due, bro. I'm not going to sit up here and lambaste the man. You know what I'm saying? I would like to say that I'm a fair dude. If I tell you, if I see something, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I could have lit Teddy Bridgewater up tonight, but what I came in with the show with, I came in before I said anything. I said, hold on, fam, before we get it going, Teddy Bridgewater, he was sick today. Coach Payton gave us the word that he was sick, and that's one of the first things Coach Payton came out and said, that Teddy Bridgewater was sick, because he knew the questions was coming about his performance. So I could have lit him up. But Trey Hendrickson's another guy that didn't do what he was supposed to do. He had a few good pressures, but remember, that was against second string talent. You know, how you expect to do anything? You struggling with second stringers, you know, stuff like that. So, I mean, I give credit what's credit due. I'm just not going to get out here and start lambasting people. You know, if they're performing, you know, that's not how I operate. Renault, who that? He said, I agree totally on the punt. The Chargers returned. There was only 3 Saints players right there, and none of them came close to making a tackle. That's what I'm saying. I'm not too many people talking about the special teams, but I keep bringing it before the family. I keep bringing it to you guys, and I keep saying over and over again to the family about the fact that the Saints are not good with the kick return, punt return. How do you explain that it's been 2 and 3 years that we had a touchdown on the punt side and the kickoff side? How is that even possible? You know how many goddamn kick returns and punt returns we get an opportunity to return, and we have not taken not one of them in the last 2 or 3 years for a touchdown? I mean, you get like at least 200 a season, and not one of them you return on either a punt or a kickoff or a touchdown. And remember, there are three aspects to how you would score in this league. You have three units that make a team: defense, offense, defense, and special teams. You can score touchdowns on all of those. We all know how that's done, and no need for me to sit up here and explain it. But I'm saying one of them is not performing up to the level they're supposed to be. We have an excellent punter. We have an excellent kicker. We have excellent special teams guys like Chris Banjo, Justin Hardy, Vince Bagel, and guys like that. Craig Robinson plays in that as well. We have excellent special teams aces, but when it comes down to the area of having an opportunity to return punts or kicks for touchdowns or get the team's offense set up for field position, we flunking in that. We stink in that. It's been 2 or 3 years for we even, like the family said, it was what remind me, family. I have to go over it again. We did it like several shows ago when I had to look it up and find out when was the last time the Saints had a kickoff return for a touchdown or a punt return for a touchdown. Alvin Kamara did it a couple years ago, and then the last time the other guy, the last time we had a return on the other side of the area was when I'm gonna take you back on this one. Paul, like the old school players. The last time that happened, the Saints had, I think it was a kickoff. I think punt return. Remind me if I'm right here, Crass, Randy, the rest of you guys, Derek. Y'all get me if I'm wrong here. Alvin Kamara was the one that returned a kickoff return for a touchdown. Correct? No, he did a punt. Was it a punt or a kick? Either one of them. Kamara did it 2 years ago. Remind me, Crass. Y'all put it down. Let me know. But the other one was done by Marcus Murphy, man. You know how long ago Marcus Murphy? Now let me ring your Saints minds on Marcus Murphy. Remember Marcus Murphy? That was the last time it was done on the other side. So that's what I'm talking about, man. We have to be able to remedy that, and that's what they bring in this new special teams coach who had an article came out in the Times-Picayune, the local paper, a couple of days ago. We covered it on the show about Dan Rizzi, the new special teams coach, taking his team back to basics because they suck so bad at covering the kicks, not covering them, but returning kicks and punts. They do a decent job, but remember, they allowed one to return today. So Rizzi's going to get on somebody, but they allowed one dude to return on them today. So somebody returning the kicks and punts for touchdowns. They had one on us today. You know? So come on. We have to do better in that area. And I think if we're going to get to the Super Bowl, we're going to need all of those areas playing up to par. We can't have the offense carrying us every week, and we can't have the defense coming in here. We can't have 2 areas of a team. It's 3 areas of a team. We can't have 2 living up to it, and the other one, we're just living off of good punt positions, kick punting and coughing punts by Morstead and kicking field goals. No, we got to have them kick returners to be able to set the offense up in short fields and even sometimes get up there and get a touchdown. Why don't you? Come on. You know? And Quincy says, Q, do you think any DBs separated themselves today? Interior D lineman was much better against the run. AJ Klein buckled up Trey Hendrickson. Man, please. See what I'm saying about blowing that smoke? Blowing that smoke. But see, I understand that because that's his teammate. And he going to ride for his teammate. He going to uplift him. He going to uplift him because it don't pay for him to come out and tell us the truth about Trey Hendrickson to us. Trey Hendrickson will feel played about that. AJ Klein came out and spoke about his deficiencies. So he going to uplift his teammate in public. I get that point. You know, I get that point. But it's our job to sit up here and say, oh, no, bat that down. Saints slap that shit down. That stuff down. Just bad. Saints slap it down. Slap it down. I'm not buying that, man. You're not going to give me some stale cookies or, you know, or some rotten milk. We not chumps. We not fools here. You know, these things work. Like I always say, these work. These work. Look, this one and this one, they work. And more importantly, this work. It works. And I know what I see, and I know Trey Hendrickson is not playing the way he's supposed to be playing. That's why he's getting in fights at the practice because people are challenging him and he getting frustrated. He's not quite who he thought he was. You know, and we heard that before. But what I think about any DBs that separated themselves, answering your question there, Quincy, I don't, as far as defensive backs, Justin, you know, I give you one, Justin Hardy. Justin Hardy is the unsung guy here. Now, we already thinking Justin Hardy will make the team because he's a special teams ace like Chris Banjo. But it's becoming more than that. You cannot deny now that Justin Hardy is turning before our very eyes into what PJ Williams was supposed to be and what Ken Crawley was supposed to be. You get me? That's what Justin Hardy's become. The play when Justin Hardy recovered, the guy had Justin Hardy beat. Justin Hardy recovered, located the ball, and instead of trying to make a play, try to like intercept it, he did the smart thing and just batted down with one arm. That was an excellent play by Justin Hardy. Excellent play. Now, if that was Ken Crawley wouldn't even try to go for the ball. They would have already been in tackle mode, trying to tackle you so you can't, and tackle you into making you drop the ball. But Justin Hardy recovered after being beat and then got there and knocked the ball away. And he's made several plays like that. He had a bunch of good plays in this game. And then the previous game against the Vikings, he was doing good. And in practice, he's been stepping up. So people not really talking about Justin Hardy. But allow me to make mention of it, man. If you ask me about DBs separating themselves in the race, Justin Hardy, you got to put him up in there. Because Justin Hardy is playing better than Patrick Robinson. He's playing better than PJ Williams. And he's playing better than Ken Crawley. He's playing better than those guys right now. He really is to me. Now, I like how Kevon Webster was playing, too. Kevon Webster was active in this game, and he made a few plays as well, too. But if you want me to tell you a DB that's kind of looking good to me, that's kind of separating himself from the rest of the pack, an unsung guy I'm going to tell you all about is Justin Hardy. We got to give him credit. And then he said he looked better. A.J. Klein with the hand. Yeah, I understand. Paul said, what was – let's see here, Paul. I'm sorry. Just my screen scrolled on me. I'm a little behind here. What was the call on Big Clark's leg injury of the offensive line? I saw him put a plastic cast on his leg and he was called off the field. No information on that yet. You seen it went down. I don't know if he got a torn ACL or something like that, or a torn ligament in his. I don't know what's going on with that. No injury report has been given on that. The Saints haven't released anything on that, but we looking at it's like a lower leg injury. He couldn't put no pressure on it, which pretty much means that he's going to probably be done. Anytime they caught you off, that's a torn ligament or something that requires surgery, he's going to be gone. And obviously the Saints going to IR him. So that's too bad for Chris Clark, the hometown kid. He comes back and then he's blocking it and the guy falls on his leg. And it's just part of the game, man. He wasn't even doing anything wrong. The guy just collapsed on his leg. It was one of those freak deals, the freak accident deal. So we'll keep a tune on it. More than likely, we'll probably have an injury report on it tomorrow when we come back at it. And we'll probably give you an injury report on him and Michael Ola. Now, Michael Ola had some type of injury too, but he was able to walk off on his own power. So we'll come back later and talk about if any other injuries besides those two guys and any other thing that we might not know about until tomorrow or the day after. We'll probably cover that down the line. DQ the Jew, what's happening, baby? Who that to you? He said, who that Q? Man, and finally got to see Deontay Harris and Izigbo look good. We've been talking about them brothers. Deontay Harris really showed up. Izigbo had that fumble, but I still like what I've seen from him. Willie said, I'm still not eating them tray cookies. I can't see it with the Hubble Space Telescope. Devin says it's bad when you calling for T Hill. I know, but he showed up though. He showed up, Devin. Willie said, I never liked garbage water. He poo. Ely Good said, Martin, man, I had his number 16 jersey too, was old Morris. 985 JC Teddy better step up. He's the highest paid backup in the league. That's right. That is absolutely right. That's why he's going to get a lot of credit. He's going to get a lot of pressure from Saints people. The Saints decide to pay this man a lot of money, and it'll be up to him to be able to prove to us, the fan base, that he's the quarterback, because he got some pretty big shoes to fill. He thought he was going to play it safe by sitting back here and watching Drew Brees play quarterback. And you got to get through the preseason to get that. And you got to show us you can play. I've seen one good outing. We had a couple of good practices and one good game from Teddy Bridgewater. And then whatever this was, the sickness game. And they're going to say, man, you can't say nothing about the man. He's sick. You can't talk about him, Q. He's sick. Well, I'm just saying, man, like the brother Devin said, how you too sick to make a 5-yard play. He shouldn't have been out there. He could have got hurt if that was the case. If he that sick, well, he can't throw the ball 5 yards or he can't make completions. I mean, how you overthrowing guys that's 6'4" and 6'5"? He overthrew Dan Arnold. How you overthrow Dan Arnold? He's 6'6". I mean, how do you throw a 6'6" human being, man? Where you throwing to the ceiling? I mean, it was a lot of stuff that was going on that I just didn't like from his body language. But, you know, it just stunk. He was throwing the ball. He was so bad. He was throwing the ball way out front of them. It was twice. He should have had at least 3 picks in this game. He had an interception, but he should have had at least 3. He had Traquan Smith that batted one down and saved his butt with an interception. Remember that one? And then there was another one where he threw to the man and the man dropped it. So he should have had 3 interceptions in this game. 3 interceptions. When I seen that garbage can play, when he was trying to force that ball in there to that guy, and that guy was like at least 3 or 4 feet ahead of him, I was like, oh no, he got to come up out of there. He got to come up out of there. Something wrong here. You know. Crassy, I see Antonio Brown retired today. Didn't know that. Didn't know that. What the, you know what? Didn't know Antonio Brown retired, but the dude is a basket case. I've been saying that about him. He crazy. He throw it off. He a diva, and a lot of them like that. That's why I keep telling people stop bashing down and stop talking mess about Michael Thomas. Because he ain't a diva like some of these crazy guys out here. Some of these guys crazy. They ain't got a little money, and they didn't get to their head. Now they batshit crazy. So that's what I said. He retired, and you making millions of dollars, man. You got to get up in the morning and go to work and work for somebody. Or if you're an entrepreneur, you work hard for your money. But if you're fortunate enough to be able to be a player that is a grown ass man that's playing a children's game, and you making $20-something million of whatever it is a year, $20 million when it takes some people, regular people, their entire lives to even make a few million. And you fortunate enough to be in a situation where you make that. You know, and then it's just absolutely insane. So, you know, I don't know too much about it. Antonio Brown, he was a great talent, but that's why I like my Mike Thomas. That's why, because the man is sane. He got some sense. He know what he's doing. And even though you get paid all that money, his thing is now I got to go out and earn it. He ain't worrying about helmets and foolishness like that. That fool was looking for a reason to retire. Who retires over not having a helmet? I mean, with all the money you can make, you can design your own freaking helmet. You know, why are you worrying about a helmet? He's looking for a reason to quit. I retired because my helmet. They wouldn't let me play with my old helmet. It was gonna be something. It was gonna be something. Sooner or later, it was gonna be something. So that's on them. I'm glad I got my Mike Thomas. Money well spent. Sorry, Oakland. We'll see you later and kick your butt later. How about that? Jerome, I think about it, Q. If Bridgewater's not the future behind Breeze and free agent, why keep him to take a roster spot from one of these young guys you want to keep? That's a point. But Sean Payton sees Teddy Bridgewater as a possible heir apparent. But Taysom Hill's going to provide the pressure. If Taysom Hill keeps playing like this, he can eventually outplay Teddy. Because Teddy Bridgewater ain't playing like he's that far along, or he just got the second string all locked up. No, Teddy Bridgewater looked like absolute garbage water to me at times. And I was talking, and I was criticizing him before I was like, this is not the same Teddy Bridgewater. You can go back and listen to the podcast. My opinion don't change. I'll change it if I say, okay, well, I was wrong about this, that, or that. But that wasn't just a knee-jerk observation. I was watching him over a period of time since he been here and watching how he played. And one of the underlying realities was against Carolina in the end of the regular season. He played so pathetic and so shameful to me to be a guy with all that experience. It forced me to look at him really closely, put the microscope on Teddy Bridgewater. And that's when I started realizing that he ain't the same dude as the guy that played for the Minnesota Vikings, or even, you know, coming off that injury. He's still having problems with this offense, obviously. We thought it was a QB-friendly offense. You had Luke McCown in there doing great stuff in it, throwing 400-something yards against the Carolina Panthers when Drew was out that game. But Teddy Bridgewater came in. He can't lead the team against the Carolina Panthers. Couldn't do it. And that to me was like, you know what? I don't know. This guy is something. I'm going to put the magnifying glass. And that's when I start seeing his cracks in his armor. And it wasn't up until recent that you start seeing him really start to perform better. But this here gives you pause for concern, because even if you're a good player, you wouldn't look that bad. I don't care how sick you was. I mean, you have to be spewing excrement from every orifice to be out there. You can't hold nothing in. You just puking and all kind of stuff going on for you to be that bad. I mean, if you got the flu, or you a little heated or something like that, or what kind of sick? He got a stomach bug and all that kind of stuff. I ain't seen him puking. You know, if it's that bad, then go sit down somewhere. You know, coach, I can't play. I'm a upchuck or what have you. But this guy is, you don't play good. That call is a pause for concern, because if you're a good player, and we thinking Bridgewater's a good player, he shouldn't have looked that bad regardless if he was sick or not. I mean, what he got, Ebola? I mean, come on, man. Let's get this straight, man. You can't, I ain't gonna even get into it because they're gonna say Q, you being unfair, like Daron was saying that I'm criticizing the man. I don't want to be accused of criticizing him, so I'm gonna leave him alone. Daron said, think about it, Q. Yeah, I get you on that. Dada says, Crash says, what is Ian Rappaport tweeting? Elite Goods Butler told her, let me down today. LOL, Jordan will be on my roster. Elite Goods, I got you, baby. Lil Jordan Humphrey. Jay said, back up QB. Dada says, and JT said, when Sean Payton started having excuses, he's smoking again. Bro, listen, y'all gonna understand, Sean Payton does that all the time. We just don't be paying attention because when he come at you, he be kind of, but I catches him all the time, man. And I had to sometimes I listen to some of the old shows. I used to play a sound effect that would play dun-dun-dun, like when you catch like the old suspense movies, when you find something that you didn't know might have happened, go dun-dun-dun. I would play that sound effect behind Sean Payton when he would say something. That's how frequent he was saying stuff. He's gotten a lot better now, to be quite honest with you. Crash says, simply not a fan of Trey H. I'm not either, buddy. Jason said, seriously, AB retired. I don't know. Wouldn't surprise me though, bro. The dude looking for a reason to retire. My helmet. I can't play because I ain't let me wear my old helmet. Man, you crazy? Yes, he is. So we're going to just let him be crazy. Elite Good said, Teddy shouldn't have played. It was our game to see Taysom Hill for the entire game. Wouldn't have been bad to see him because I could have went without seeing Teddy Bridgewater stink it up for almost 2 quarters, to be honest with you. No offense. You look at the offense during his time in there, absolutely nothing. Zero, no energy, no nothing. No nothing. And he's supposed to be a first-round draft pick quarterback with all these credentials, who've had all of this stats, all of this information, supposed to be one of the smartest quarterbacks in the league. All that stuff, and Taysom Hill, the gadget guy, tearing you up with stats and yardage. And don't get it twisted, that guy can scramble too. Teddy Bridgewater can scramble and move around too. He ain't as fast as Taysom Hill, but he got wheels. He can move around if he need to. Jerome says, watch the video. Banjo was right there. He didn't try to tackle the guy. Watch it. I seen it. And then many times Banjo couldn't tackle the guy because he probably didn't know he was there. He was lost. Like the play when he came up to the line of scrimmage, then turned around and looked and seen nobody there he was supposed to guard. And he way too close to the offensive line. Next thing you know, the guy throwing the ball over to him, PJ trailing him. PJ thought he had help back there. That's not on PJ Williams. That's on Chris Banjo. That's why I say Chris Banjo is not a good safety, but he's an excellent special teams player. So it'll beg the difference that if something happened to your safeties and you had to put Chris Banjo in there, is it really worth having Chris Banjo on your team just because he's a special teams dude and he can't contribute nowhere else? He's a liability if you put him back there at safety. That's why Saquon Hampton is in there, because Saquon Hampton, if he could produce or make plays, Chris Banjo's awesome player on special teams. It's just like it's 2 different human beings there. It's like this great player on special teams, and then when he plays him in the regular defense, he's completely lost. And that's just what it is. You got to make a decision on that. Crash says Banjo's a good team, special team, but that's where it ends. Just you echoing my point. Larry says we kept Tommy Lee Lewis too long. We did. And I was criticizing Tommy Lee Lewis for many years because Tommy Lee had all his speed, but he was not elusive. I would say he must have had something on Sean Payton. Remember, Larry, let me tell you something. Remember how you got Tommy Lee Lewis. You got Tommy Lee Lewis because the big tuna called Sean Payton and said, I want you to look at this guy. And then that's how he brought him on the team, because Sean Payton's mentor is Bill Parcells, and Bill Parcells told him about Tommy Lee Lewis, and that's how he got on the team. And I was often said Tommy Lee was fumbling punts and all this kind of mess. He had all that speed, but he was like a quick dude, but wasn't elusive. Couldn't shake or move nobody. Couldn't run from nobody. I'm like, this dude here, it's like we need to get rid of this dude. But they kept him all that time, and eventually last year decided to let him go. So it just shows you for many years we had to deal with mediocrity on our special teams in terms of our kick return, punt return. It is absolutely pathetic and sad that we have not witnessed kick returns and punt returns, and it's been 2 or 3 years ago since we had either or. We just had a some gun return one on us today in this game. So we can't have that, is what I'm saying. We can't have kick returns, punt returns on special teams. We the only team in the league where you haven't seen it. It's a rarity to see a Saints player return a punt or a kick for a touchdown. It don't happen. And it don't happen because our special teams suck in that regard. They don't know how to open up lanes to provide a lane for the speedster to be able to get to the outside and then break and beat the punter or the kicker, whomever, down the sideline to the touchdown. Look at look at it. It was several times I was watching these guys. They didn't know what they was doing. They was blocking out, not looking where they was blocking. They was letting other blockers come. Like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all guys doing here? But that's what the man, he gonna get it together. You got a new special teams coach, and he going back to basics, and he gonna get it together. Paul said, yes, the special teams coach needs to be fired and get Bobby April out of retirement. Not Bobby April is probably retired. But we got a good one. Dan Rizzi's trying to install his system in there, so it's going to be okay. Paul, just give him an opportunity. This guy's pretty good. Trust me, he's good. Revolt Control says, number 54, I don't even know his name, had better pass rush than Davenport and Hendrickson against the same number 79 rookie for LA. Number 54 is, let me see if I can pull that up. Let me see, number 54. For the Saints, number 54. That's Josh Martin. Josh Martin, that's his name, Revolt. Josh Martin, that's the guy they picked up from the Jets. The little outside linebacker / defensive lineman guy that the Saints brung in. He did, toward the end of the game, started to provide a pass rush. And I was like, who the hell is that? Because the pass rush was so scarce tonight. I mean, they ratcheted up the pressure. They blitzed a little bit more in this game. But, to be quite honest with you, he kind of flashed at the end of the game. I was like, okay, 54, who's that? Had to look at the depth chart, too. That's the guy they brought in, Josh Martin from the Jets. So he did all right. Devin says Kamara in 2018. Let's see. Oh, what's up, Theodore? Who that to you, Theodore? He in the building. I knew I was going to be off on the quarterback challenge. He didn't hit one target. ODB in the building. What's up, ODB? Let's not act like Taysom Hill wasn't throwing ducks last week versus the backups. He was, but that's the thing you got to see, man, is that you have to be able to improve. And I actually like it. I think it's a pretty decent thing, man. They did a pretty good job here tonight, not to get hard on the guys. Will Musgrave said the beer truck guy did a good job returning back in the day. Now our punter looks like he has to punt the ball and go make the tackle. Who that? Logan said, I feel like the Saints punt returner did really good today. He had like 320+ yard return. Big ups to you, Logan, on that. That's what we've been talking about, man, is that and that's why I said it's so great to have who that, Tyrone? It's really good to have great Saints minds in the building that notice that talk about that. We're going to sit up and we don't just talk about Drew or Mike or Elvin or Cam or, the big guys all day. It's not just about the big guys. You can't, the big guys get you there, but you need the medium guys and the small guys to make contributions too. And if you look at the kick return, punt return game, that makes Drew's job a lot easier if we can get the ball to the 35, 40 yard line. And hell, what the hell? Every now and again, possibly we can have a return for a touchdown on special teams. How about that? Maybe 2 or 3 of them a year. How about that? We can actually have something like that to go on. Robert says, AKA returner, Elvin Kamara returner kickoff against Tampa Bay. Okay, thank you. Okay, that's the kick return for a touchdown against Tampa Bay. That was 2 years ago, right, Robert? And that was the last time you guys had a kick return for a touchdown was 2 years ago with Elvin Kamara. Now, let me enlighten you. Like I said earlier, the punt return for a touchdown, I had to go and research that because a lot stumped. Now, you see they got a lot of smart people on this live stream, and I stumped the hell out of them, including myself, when I asked the question. So I had to go back and look it up and found out the last time the Saints had a punt return for a touchdown was when Marcus Murphy did it. Now, you tell me how long that is. Paul, you a fan of the old school. You tell me how long ago that was when Marcus Murphy was here. So, I mean, that's 2 years for a kick return for a touchdown and over 3 years since a punt return. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. And it's not because those guys wasn't fast. It's because the Saints don't know what the hell they doing for opening lanes for kickoff for your returners to run through. You got to block up and create lanes for the returners to get to the outside so they can take the ball to the house. The Saints suck at that. And I'm going to go back and say it again. The article in the Times-Picayune, the local newspaper that was covering the Saints, said that the special teams coordinator who was signed this year, Dan Rizzi, is one of he comes from the Dolphins. And he led top 5, top 10 special team units in the Dolphins returning kickoffs, return for touchdowns, led the league during his tenure there and block punts and all that kind of stuff. So this guy's got skill. So basically, Sean Payton flipped the entire special teams room upside down and brought in this guy. And this guy says, we got to go back to basics, which basically telling you that the Saints suck at that. They suck at kick returning and punt returning. They suck. And then you see them let one go today, let the other man take a return back today on them. So we definitely got to get better with that, man. No doubt about it. Appreciate that. Renault said, I agree. Nice win. Just disappointed in the first half play. Most of the players in the second half won't make the team. That's a possibility. You're very right on that. You see second and third stringers fighting for their lives, trying to make an impression. You've seen Shy Tuttle. You've seen Ziggy Hood in there making plays. He was providing some pressure. You seen Shy Tuttle get up in them. You seen Josh Martin, you kind of break out there and try to make some stuff happen toward the end of the game. There's only so many spots that's open for this team and so many depth spots that's going to go in. And for many regard, if you think about it, a lot of these are set in stone, except for you got to go through the March because you never know who's going to get injured, and you got to, do that whole deal to kind of reinforce it. But the Saints are in good position. It feels good knowing that we don't have that many holes and we got a lot of depth already, which when that happens, that means you're basically a Super Bowl team ready to roll. So who that? Demi said, Q, is there any information on Craig Robinson or others who was injured? Not yet, Demi. I just looked up while I was when the interview was going on to see if there was any reports on Chris Clark. He was carted off, or Michael Ola. There was nothing on either of those guys to my knowledge right now. And in a few minutes, I'll make sure I do another check to make sure that I see anything. But as far as what I'm saying about the injuries, nothing's being reported on Chris Clark or Michael Ola right now. So just be mindful about that. And we'll, like I said, I'll keep making sure I do some checks and find out what's going on that and keep on it. But as far as right now, nothing on those men. But as far as looking at Chris Clark, it's not looking good for him, Demi, to be honest with you. He carted off. Yeah, he probably have a torn muscle or something that requires surgery when he can't put power on his own leg or whatever it was. He's in trouble, so he'll probably end up missing, not being on the team no more. I could probably see the Sean Payton coming out tomorrow. You're going to see something about it tomorrow, definitely. Willie says Hardy's been doing the damn thing, blocking kicks and everything. Got to give Justin Hardy credit, y'all. He's really stepping up. Ely Good said Ola should be fine. He walked out on his own power. I think he had an ankle issue. Somebody rolled up on his ankle. He was able to walk it off. Old Dirty Bass said, let's act like let's not act like Taysom Hill was throwing ducks last year. Walter, what up, Walter? He said, what up, Q? I knew he was going to be off in the quarterback challenge. He didn't hit one target. Reynolds said, as far as Teddy, it's a must really be sick. Go watch a quarterback challenge against the Chargers. He was missing every throw bad. The guy, something's not right with Teddy Bridgewater. I'm telling you, something's not right with Teddy Bridgewater. Something's not right with Teddy Bridgewater. He is not the same Teddy Bridgewater from the Minnesota Vikings. It is not the same dude. I'm telling you that. It's not. It looks like him, but it is not him. Gary says, rest in peace, Cedric Benson. Cedric Benson must have passed away. I didn't know that. Let's see. Elite Good said, I feel if Teddy looks like this in the next 2 games, he's traded with a thank you for your time and a wish you well. Could be. Real talk. Jason says that man said what he got. Ebola. I'm about to say something else. I had to catch myself. Who that Dari? He said Teddy was straight trash today. Garbage can, Dari. He was garbage can today, man, and I don't know, man, wasn't looking good. Teddy scrambles. Let's see, but it's just one of them things, family, where you look around, man, and it just don't look good when you the backup quarterback. But overall, this was Teddy. This is not Teddy's thing. This was Taysom Hill's game. He was the MVP. He put the team on his back and marched them to victory. And that's big because the team wasn't going anywhere with Bridgewater at the helm, but it switched instantaneously once they were able to put him in there. And I'm just telling you, I love it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I remember we was asking this question. What does Taysom Hill look like to you with accuracy? And remember I asked that question, family? Remember that I was talking at Jay and everybody in the building, Derek. I asked that question. Larry, you was here. I asked that question. I said, what does Taysom Hill look like to you with accuracy? We seen some of that tonight. Maybe that's what Sean Payton was talking about. You know, I ain't going to get all crazy with it, but it won't be hard to believe that he can march a guy like Teddy Bridgewater out the door. The way he ain't playing like crap anyway. You know, to be honest with you. But anyway, let's get back into it, family. Let's play the player of the game. Here's Taysom Hill with his thoughts on the game.
You oftentimes have to remind yourself that we get to play, this game, and this isn't work, and it's a lot of fun to have the opportunity. Not many people get to. So having the opportunity to get on the field and play is a great opportunity. We had fun today.
Was that some examples of all the things you can do well as a quarterback? You know, some of the running, throwing on the run and just running. And was that like what you do well on display in one half?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I haven't seen all the numbers, or I got to go back and watch it and stuff. But I felt like we were able to move the ball, and if things broke down, like we were able to avoid negative plays. And I know I gave up a sack, but we were able to come back from that and convert on third down later. So I think, having the ability to make plays when things aren't there just make us more difficult to stop. And again, just avoiding negative plays.
23-yard scramble early.
Yep.
What'd you see on that play?
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to get the ball. We had an over route. I was trying to get the ball over there and see if we got free. And I felt pressure. And so I had to avoid, and unfortunately I had to avoid away from the route and the concept that we had going. And so at that point, I was just trying to avoid a negative play. And I felt like I could get the edge instead of just throwing the ball away and try to get some yards. And we were able to do that. And I tried to get what I could and then avoid a hit and get down, and gave us some momentum, which we were lacking there for a little bit. So that was my mindset.
Do they tell you to get down more than you do, or are they okay with you taking on tacklers one-on-one?
I've never had a specific conversation, of hey, you need to protect yourself. But I think it's kind of an unwritten rule. And so I try to do that. I tell them all the time that, I feel like I'm going to break every tackle, so it's hard to give myself up. But I think, there are opportunities where you get what you can get and you go down and protect yourself. And I felt like tonight, I can't think of one unnecessary hit I took. I got sacked, but that's the only one that really comes to mind.
Taysom, 2 turnovers today inside the red zone.
Yeah.
As a quarterback, how much do you put on yourself to keep the troops focused, so to speak, and to rally them so they don't lose that focus?
Yeah, I mean, everything starts with us. We touch the ball every play, and after a play, you try to create a mindset that, hey, stay in the moment, on to the next. And I will tell you, the only thing that's really frustrating for me, and sometimes as a quarterback you have to check yourself, but you can't let a previous play dictate what's going to happen next play. And so, look, everyone on our team wants to go out and be really successful, and they're going to go out and do the best that they can every play, and stuff happens. So the only frustrating thing is if guys let that linger. Which I didn't think that happened tonight. We had a couple turnovers, and then the next drive we were able to bounce back, and I thought that was a really good thing coming out of the game.
Sean said that Teddy was sick heading into this game. Did you feel for him a little bit when he was in the first half, knowing that he maybe wasn't 100%?
Yeah, certainly. It's a tough game. It's a tough position to play if you're not able to give it 100%. It really is demanding, and it requires 100% of your energy and your focus. And if there's something lingering over your head, it makes it difficult.
Could you tell with him?
Yeah, I mean, I think Teddy was a little down energy-wise today, and I think he was feeling crummy throughout the week, and we were aware of that, and we tried to help him out when we could and allow him to get some rest throughout the week when there are opportunities.
When you are feeling crummy, how do you push through and just try to bring as much energy as you can?
I mean, I think we've all been there. We played the game for long enough that you're not going to feel 100%, and this game, it's very rare to feel 100% as you go into a game. So I think you just try to focus even more. I think there are a lot of distractions throughout a week and throughout a season, and certainly being sick and having something nagging at you adds to that. And I think you just have to be conscious of staying in the moment, and if it requires you to stay focused even harder, then you just do the best you can.
Taysom, I know you have like a lot of objectives in these preseason games.
Yep.
How much at one point is it just, hey, I got to win the game for the team? Is that talked about the sideline?
Yeah, no doubt. That's all. I mean, that is the objective. As we went into halftime, Coach obviously wasn't too happy with the way that we were playing offensively. We had great opportunities. Our defense played really well, and we squandered a few opportunities there. And Coach let us know that he was not happy with the way that we were going. And so I felt, again, as a quarterback and the guy that's calling the plays, controlling the huddle, touching the ball every play, that it kind of came down to me because I had the opportunity to play the second half, that I felt like we needed some energy. And the thing that I kept reiterating in the huddle was, we're going to have an opportunity to win this football game. And I know it's a preseason game, but this is what it's all about. And if we came out here to not win, then we're wrong. And so that was the objective.
That's Taysom Hill, family. Old Taysom letting you know about it. And like I said, man, they said he was feeling crummy all week. Well, I'll tell you what, his gameplay sure looked crummy. That's a really good word for it. A good word for it. Crummy. Larry says Tommy Lee used to run full speed into a tackle. That's what that fool did, man. That's what I'm saying. He used to run full speed into somebody back. You run around there and run full speed to somebody back. Oh, Tommy Lee, good riddance to you. Oh man, Roscoe, who that to your family? Welcome to the live stream. Doris said Harris will win the kick return job. It's sure looking like it, family. I'm gonna just have to be honest with you. It's sure looking like he's gonna win that battle, and I'm glad he will. Larry says from the QB Challenge Chargers, and with the Braves was pretty accurate. We should just trade Teddy for him. Elise says, son, I know this is off subject, but they got these snowballs for $1. Anything is more impressive than Teddy Bridgewater's play, to be honest with you. Orozco says Saints did pretty well on D. The second D started, secondary, I think that's what he said, started a bit slow. Wasn't too disappointed, although the name that sticks out that got under my skin was P.J. Williams. But what's new? Well, I was said that everybody burns P.J. Williams. The painters at the Saints facility burn him. The janitor burns him. Everybody burns P.J. Williams. He's used to it. He's the guy that knows that he gets burned a lot. But the thing about it, I can't hang this one on P.J. Williams. That was Chris Banjo who blew that coverage. He should have been on the top, and that's how P.J. got in the trailing position. He should have had protection on top. Banjo was fiddling around the line of scrimmage. He should have been back there, and we have to put that on him. Who that Walter? Walter said, I don't care what anybody said. We need more pass rushers. Thank you, Walter. Thank you, Walter. We've been saying that for a while, but you playing around with guys like Wes Horton. We seen some Wes Horton for the first time in this game, and Wes Horton, made a few plays. He got hit with a penalty, I think it was. But we did see some guys trying to make some plays. It was a lot better. But we thirsty for the pass rushers, being that we didn't have one last week. So we did see guys extend out a bit and do a little bit more, but still need a proven pass rusher back there. That's better than Trey Hendrickson and the rest of those backups. Roscoe says Teddy's gone. Hill for backup. Whatever happened to JT Barrett? He was released for the 20,000th time by the Saints. He ultimately signed with the Seattle Seahawks. So that's where he's currently with the Seahawks. Elise said, hope you got it right. The ice machine. Verlin, what up, Verlin? What up, Q? Back in here. You know, I uplifted Taysom Hill since he's been here and wanted to be seen more of a QB. Good to see him, bro. Good to have you back here. JT said, I'm going to tell you this Sean Payton will quietly sign a QB. Well, we're gonna see, bro, because you know, I don't know. We're gonna see. You're gonna see, because I'm telling you, he don't see nothing wrong with Teddy Bridgewater, and it's two things he blind to. He don't see Teddy Bridgewater, the real Teddy Bridgewater, standing before him, and he don't recognize the fact that he need pass rushers. He need more pass rushers. He think he got both of them signed. I mean, figured out. I mean, that's two things. Obviously, I see him. Larry said, oh, for sure, I got the official. Roscoe Rockwell, what happened to JT Barrett from Ohio State? Thought he was on the practice squad. No, he going to Seattle, buddy. Roscoe said Teddy didn't eat his Wheaties. JT said, cut, turn this movie off. The game plan should have been Taysom. You're starting today, Sunday. Be ready. That's what it should have been. We just heard on the interview. You guys are super smart. You just heard what they said, that he was feeling crappy all week, and then he forces him out there in the game in the second preseason game, know that he looking terrible. You know, I wouldn't have played him. I would have put Taysom Hill, like you said, out there, but he just gave something away. He just was talking, and you let him talk long enough, and they're going to give something away, and he gave it away. Will Musgrave says Teddy must be eating them street tacos and got sick. Oh, man, y'all tough. Taysom gave them a little taste of hell. Verlin said Hill is a warrior. His only shortcomings coming in had season injury since high school. Of course, the accuracy isn't on Breeze's level. No, it's not. But you can see what Teddy Bridgewater spoke about when Taysom Hill spoke about. The reporter basically asked him a silly question: do he feel for Teddy Bridgewater? I don't feel for Teddy Bridgewater, man. You know, Teddy Bridgewater, they have $1 million staff in here. If he got the flu or whatever he got, whatever they got, he got the answer. They got the answer for it. So, no, we got doctors in here, man. The doctors will make sure he's all right. We point him into the doctor, say, man, you feeling a little down? Well, here, they go to the doctor over there, go over there, they'll fix you right up. Them guys in there make millions of dollars. They'll take care of you. You know, it ain't like you got to go to the urgent care. I mean, they got staff doctors that only deal with the team, and their doors open anytime players have issues. So I'm not feeling for Teddy Bridgewater in that manner. But Taysom Hill, another question was asked. The dumb reporter asked the question, oh, Taysom, do they tell you to protect yourself? They got the quarterback playing special teams, you numbskull. I mean, he in there running around blocking punch. You think this guy making tackles. They got him playing running back and tight end. You talking about what? What? Well, you're a quarterback. He's much more than a quarterback, man. The guy plays on special teams. They use him in all kind of gadget plays. You thinking Sean Payton, if he really wanted to preserve the man health, that he put in some of his risky special teams? You can't get no more riskier than special teams. I mean, you running down the field full speed and the guy hit you. Come on. That's one of the roughest players of things to do. Willie says, say Q, Tommy Lee, homeboy, just left my house. Y'all stop it. Oh, man. Tramal said, oh, what's up, Tramal? What's good? All the good family in the building tonight. Verlin said the D looked like they were playing for positions definitely up front, though the pass rush still needs to be shored up. Shirley Horton tried to show he's a little bit. Yes, sure who he was a little bit. Yeah, I seen Will Horton flashed a little bit. Still not enough. We still need more. But, you know, we're going to keep looking at it. Roscoe said, y'all, some thanks for all you do. Thank you, Roscoe. Thank you, my friend. Who that to you? My man, appreciate you as well. And y'all support all these great who that's here. Tramal said, why we keep holding up to PJ Williams? Why we keep holding on to PJ Williams and he's always getting abused? Question of the year. Why the hell we got PJ Williams here? I don't get it. I don't know. You know, I could put Ken Crawley in that discussion. Why the hell we got PJ Williams and Ken Crawley here? Why? And the only thing they're going to do is get burnt. They don't learn. These guys, like, they just don't learn. They practice all the time and then get into the game and forget everything. They're still getting burnt. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't know why, bro. It's one of those questions that'll drive you insane if you focus on it too much. So don't try to do that too much, bro. Charles, who that, Charles? Charles says Shrells is losing his spot if he don't come out of that injury tent. Man, it's several Saints family members mentioned that about Shrells and about Deontay Harris is really lighting things on fire. We knew something suspect about Deontay Harris. He had an exceptional career in college. We wanted to know if it translated to the NFL level. His speed translates well. The Saints have to do a better job in helping him get to the outside. They suck at setting up lanes for him to run. And if you watch the tape, you'll see there were several times when he had to create lanes for himself. He had to be elusive and shake guys, run around guys, because his buffoonish blockers couldn't set up a decent route for him to take to get downfield. That has to change. That has to change. You cannot be that bad on a professional special teams, getting paid money in NFL, that you can't set lanes for your return man to run. It was one of them where he got tackled by 4 people. How do your kick returner get tackled by like 3 or 4 people? Where the blockers at? Where the blockers at? How did he get caught? He got tackled like 3 people, like wrapped him up. How? Where were the rest of the blockers at? Devin said, I take away my slot comment about PJ Williams. Larry said, y'all ask Tommy how he feels on special team. I'll tell you what, man, it's interesting to say the least about, what we've seen, man, dealing with the Saints tonight. But no doubt about it, we just played Taysom Hill. That was the last interview we had for you guys. And now I'm going to go into the next segment. I'm going to talk to you guys about, now we're going to get to the part of the show we grade the offense, defense, and special teams. So I want to ask all the Who Dats and all the Saints and the Sports Coma family in the live chat to answer this question, the Sports Coma live chat of the night, I guess you could say, is I want you guys to rate the defense, offense, and special teams tonight for the Saints, the performances, A, B, C, D, or F. You can use the minuses, throw the minuses however you want to. But let me ask you guys to rate the offense, defense, and special teams tonight. What did the offense look like to you? Would you give them a B or a B plus or a B minus? What about the defense? Did the defense perform up to a higher grade? And what about the special teams? What do you guys think about that? A, B, C, or D on each one of them? I feel I'll get free right now to give mine in a moment. And we got the phone lines turned on as well. So if you guys want to call the number right here, you can feel free to call. The phone lines are open now, and you can chime in. You can spit your comments, concerns, or questions pertaining to the game tonight. And the line's open just to let you know the call number is right here, and you can feel free to call this show and speak to yours truly. So here we go. As far as the offense tonight, family, I'm going to give the Saints offense, and this is just me speaking about it, but the Saints offense, to me, I would give the offense I'm trying to grade them completely because it was a different, with Teddy Bridgewater in there, it was F. No doubt about it. But when Taysom Hill took it over, I guess I can give it a C plus. Let's say C plus or a B minus grade. I would say, to be fair, with Taysom Hill in there and the running game the guys have, I would have to probably give it a B minus. B minus for the offense, or C plus or B minus. I'm kind of up there. I would say C plus for the offense, because they got a lot of work to do and basically won this game off the talents of Taysom Hill. So I would give it a C plus. I guess C plus, B minus is kind of right in between there, as the offense did kick it into gear. The defense, on the other hand, I'll give them a defense. Tonight's performance, defense overall, I will give the defense a B. I'll give the defense a B. I give the defense a B because it started off, the defense kind of looked a little shaky in the first half, but they did shut down the Chargers offense in the second half, didn't allow them to score anymore, as the offense were able to score points to catch up and eventually win the game. So I give credit there. So we got C plus on the offense, a B for the defense, and as far as the special teams go, with Deontay Harris playing and Morstead doing what he do, and then of course you're looking at Will Lutz, stuff like that, I would have to give the special teams a B minus as well. I have to give them a B minus. So B minus special teams, B for the defense, C minus for the offense, family. So that's my personal grades on it. I'm gonna begin to read the grades for the family as they were able to chime in as well. And Jerome says a C, B, and C. That's his call on it. Thank you, Jerome. Larry says special teams D only, saved by good returns. Tramal says offense was a B minus, defense was a D plus. Willie says C on the offense and a C on the defense. I got you. Thank you, Willie. William says special teams gets a D. Larry says defense gets a B. JT says an A with Mr. Hill on the offense. Thank you for that, JT. Revolt Control Radio says the offense gets a C. Defense gets a C. Special teams gets a C. Everybody C'd out as far as Revolt is concerned. Larry says a C on the offense. Jerome says a C. Elite Good says offense gets a B plus. Defense gets a C plus. Vernon says offense is a B due to Betty. To Betty Bridgewater. And Quincy says offense is C plus, defense is a B minus, and special teams gets a D. Wow, Quincy really hit them hard. Thank you both, Quincy and Berlin. Demi says Kafusi made a good play. Jaquiz played well tonight. Thank you, Demi. Charles gives the defense a B. Let's see what Tramal secondary was trash. Jerome says B. Charles says special teams gets a C. Derek, who that Derek? Derek says offense gets a C, defense gets a C, and special teams gets a D. So hold on. Okay, I got you, Derek. Thank you. Devin says Teddy a F. Teddy get the F for a flu. Offense gets a B minus. Thank you, Devin. Jerome says a C. Gary says offense gets a C. Defense gets a B. Special teams gets a B. Verlin says the defense gets a C. Would have been a B, but the big passing and run gashes dropped it. Thank you, Verlin. Devin says defense a B. Special teams a D plus. Okay, thank you, Devin. Elite says, okay, I'll change my defense to a B plus. I agree with you, Q, but with the special teams being a C plus. Verlin says special teams a C. Elite Good says that our D kind of showed out. JT says Sean Payton gets smoke. Tramal says Ozigbo needs to get checked for CTE. Damn. And he was getting blowed up. He was getting really popped out there. Them guys were lighting up Devine Zigbo. And then the linebacker lowered the boom on him and caused that fumble. He was really getting racked up in there. And he was taking some really powerful shots, man. Yeah, he's a tough little dude. Verlin says, come on, Betty, broke water till I see different. Okay, I got you, Teddy. Glenn says offense a B minus, defense gets a C. So I appreciate the family for chiming in and breaking that down. The good to see. Scoob, who that Scoob? Scoob says Taysom gets an A. Everybody else gets a G. What do you mean G? Scoob, what you mean? Glenn says special teams get the D. Okay, I got you there. Everybody gets a D. I think Scoob meant the D. Okay. But that's a part of the equation, though, family. If you turn around and look at it, the teams, this is the second preseason game. Now, it wasn't a blowout, but it did show some resolve for the teams to come from behind and win the game. It was important for them to win this game. Now, they keep telling you this stuff don't count. I'm telling you, that's a bunch of garbage. That's a way that we don't get frustrated with them because they're losing these games in the preseason. But any time you can win in the NFL, trust me, it's welcomed. Whether it's preseason, regular season, and definitely the postseason. Winning is winning. That's how teams are built when they win. You can lose, and you losing together, teams gonna fall apart. The strength of the team is built when they started win. Now you can deal with some tough losses. Don't get me wrong, but if you consistently losing games after game after game, how you expect to build anything? You have to know how it feels to win. And that's how some teams really started loving to play or sticking to play or build that camaraderie, because they fall in love with the way winning feels, and they play for the winning feeling. You get what I'm saying? They play for that feeling, that everybody feeling good in the locker room. The music is playing, everybody dancing, everybody happy, and they're slapping fives, everybody going out. It's all fun. But when they lose, nobody got nothing to say to nobody. Everybody's somber. So a lot of guys, they fall in love with the winning feeling, winning as a team, and they play for that feeling. A little insight on that. Jason says Davenport has a cross earring. Yeah, he got a cross earring. Not only is a cross earring that's attached to, like, it's right up on his earlobe. No, he got one of them Aaron Nevilles that hang down, and he got it on one side. I'm like, man, what is this? What is this? And he's supposed to be from New Orleans. Where he from the cutoff somewhere? I mean, he must be related to the Nevilles or something. The last time I seen somebody wear a hanging cross earring was Aaron Neville and his people. So he must be related. I'm like, what the hell? A hanging cross earring? Like, I was like, this dude must listen to Aaron. We got love for you though, Davenport. We just messing with you, bro. Jason brought that up. I was looking at that when he got drafted, man. I was like, this dude, am I tripping? Or is this dude wearing a hanging cross earring? He wearing an earring. Yeah, I say, who this dude think he is? Aaron Neville? That's the only dude I seen wear that, man. So he must be rocking an Aaron Neville. That's what is going on. Scoop said, yes, a D. Okay, I got you, Scoop. Tramal said Davenport does get an F for his dress code. Yeah, I ain't going to follow you on that Aaron Neville, bro. You can keep that Aaron Neville to yourself. Larry like that. Charles says you have to show up to get a dress code. That's right. Yeah, you got to show up, bro. We ain't going to talk about you if you ain't showing up. Verla said, true that. It's motivation. D says, A on offense. Defense gets a C+. Special teams gets a B. Teddy, he gets an incomplete. An I for incomplete. That's a good one. William says, Will Musgrove, Will says, DAV Dav. Ely says, LOL, Big Q. I know, bro. Come on, man. Y'all had to be thinking that, man. I can't be the only person in here thinking like that. Davenport step out there with that Aaron Neville on right there. I'm like, what the hell? Say, bro, what's up with that hanging cross earring? Nothing wrong. Now, listen, nothing wrong wearing cross earring. What I'm saying, you know, you got some of them wear it on the ear, but you got one hanging cross earring that hang to the side. What the hell is that about? Aaron Neville? You know, and how about the Buster Aaron Neville song? I just forgot, you know, and then it's kind of weird. Aaron Neville a big old dude, bro, but when he opened his mouth up, he got a soft voice like Mike Tyson. You know, so that's what I remember from listening to Aaron Neville coming up or watching him. But he got an Aaron Neville. That's the only person I ever seen wear an earring like that was Aaron Neville. Quincy says Davenport's grandfather was a track coach at Suno. Okay, he must have knew Aaron Neville. I bet you it was the track coach that gave Aaron Neville the style to wear the earring. So he was like, man, listen, man, I invented that. So listen, what we going to do is when you become a pro, I want you to rock it. And then when they ask about it, tell them that he got it from me. See, nobody never asked him about it yet, but it's coming. I'm telling you. Jason says Aaron Neville just got caught on his earring back. Oh, I started some mess. Elise said, y'all know he out there 9, right? All right. Yeah, I know he out the 9. I'm from the 9. But I ain't never seen nobody wear no Aaron Neville earring. I'm from there. I'm from the 9, right off of Tennessee Street. And I've never seen somebody rocking an Aaron Neville out the 9. He got to be related to Aaron Neville, man. He got to be, because it's only 2 people that's doing that, and it's him and Aaron Neville. And I promise you there won't be another person wearing it for another 100 years. But anyway, that's the whole thing, family. I just want to say the Saints did a fantastic job in coming from behind and secure the win against a very quality team. Very, very quality win. Even though it was a close one, I do appreciate the fact that the Saints had the gumption to get back into it, win it, and take one home. Taysom Hill representing, showing it up. So that's big deal. Big deal. I'm telling you. But man, I tell you what, family, we are proud. I'm proud, man. I'm proud of the Saints. You know, I'm proud of how they fought back into this game. I see a few pieces. I do see some interesting things going on there as far as piety. Okay, I got you, baby. I got you. But it's that's the part of the game. We seen Wes Harden shine. We seen I ain't gonna say shine, but I seen glimpses of Wes Harden. It was finally good to see what he could do. It was a few other things that was going on there, but in a large run, man, to be honest, you got to say, Saints family, that we are happy. We are satisfied with this win. You know, we can go into next week now happy we got the win, and we're going to find out about exactly, you know, what's going on with the injuries of some of these players here, because to lose Michael Ola, hopefully it's nothing long, but definitely Chris Clark, it's not looking good for the home team if you if you're Chris Clark. You know, sad to say. But anyway, Devin says, why was Dev even getting interviewed? I don't know why he was getting interviewed. They just seen him stand there and say, hey, Davenport, come on, let me talk to you. I thought order for them to want to talk to you had to have done something in the game, you know, and this preseason, I guess they was like, you know what, I need some material. Let me go talk to him. Larry said, didn't LT wear one? LaDainian Tomlinson, did he wear a hanging earring? He ain't wear no hanging cross earring. He ain't wear a hanging cross earring. I remember he used to wear. He had a cross, but I ain't never seen him wearing a hanging one. You talking about LT, not LaDainian Tomlinson. You talking about Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor did have a hanging cross earring. That's right. He sure did. That's true, Larry. I forgot all about Lawrence Taylor's earring. He used to wear one too. I'm gonna have to research that and find out what the hell is that. It seems whoever wear a Heron Cross earring, they're gonna make a lot of money. Lawrence Taylor was the greatest sacker, pass rush. I mean, you gotta look at Reggie White, but Lawrence Taylor, man, he was absolutely ferocious, man, for the Giants. That dude was awesome. Lawrence Taylor. He did have a hanging one. He was a great. And then Aaron Neville is a Hall of Famer. So anybody that dons the hanging cross is endowed with powers to be great. That's what the power of the hanging cross earring represents. You only wear one on one side, and it gives you powers to make the Hall of Fame. So let's hope that the powers of the hanging cross earring helps Davenport like it helped Lawrence Taylor. and it helped Aaron Neville get into the Music Hall of Fame as well. Oh, that's funny, man. That's funny. I'm glad. I just be having fun, family. That was funny. Tramal says, if Davenport was raised in desire, they would snatch that earring out. Gary said that pass P Cruz a bad call. I got you, buddy. Yep, yeah, that PI. Yeah, that PI was bad. Revolt Control said he got to get 10 sacks to mainstream that hanging cross earring. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yep. Revolt says Lawrence Taylor pushing 60 Davenport is a youngster. Tramal LT broke Joe Theismann leg. Yeah, I remember that was horrible too. Roscoe says Stanks have one of the toughest schedules this year. I have them 12-4 at best, 10-6 at work. What are your thoughts? We covered this the other day, Roscoe, and I would have to say, buddy, that I would have to go with, even though 12-4 sounds good to me. And I was thinking to myself, we do have a tough schedule. You know, we have a tough schedule. But if you go back and look at last year's schedule, all the teams we played, our schedule last year was a lot more difficult than the schedule we're dealing with this year. Plus, you're dealing with a pissed off Saints team that's denied twice the last 2 years. Their mindset is that we're going to take the Super Bowl by hook or crook. We're going to get this son of a gun. You know what I'm saying? And last year, you were playing dominant teams. You had teams on the schedule like the Philadelphia. When Philly got on the schedule, it was like, oh, man, Philly was defending Super Bowl champions. So they were looking at it like, oh, this is going to be a big matchup. What happened? We beat the hell out of Philadelphia. And it was never, ever in the history of the NFL that a team was beat that bad before a defending Super Bowl team was beat that bad. But we did that to them. We helped shape and turn around Philadelphia's season because they were falling through the floor. And ultimately, that ass whooping gave them, got their mind right. But we also had that game against the Chargers as well. I mean, not the Chargers, the Rams. So we had some really difficult games last year, if you think about it. We played against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Remember that game? That was an awesome game. We had Carolina, and that stretched toward the back of the season too. So, like I'm saying this year we have a pretty tough schedule. But the last 2 years prior to this year, we've been having difficult schedules. Last year we went 13-3 with the pressures of them telling us that the Saints are the Super Bowl contender. That's never happened before. Never in the history of the media world that the media was singing a voice that all was saying that they was picking the Saints to win a Super Bowl. That's never happened before. Trust me on that. Never happened before. But even to the point where the mantra of the team was prove them right. Remember that? Well, with all that pressure, what the Saints do? Turn in a 13-3 performance. Well, they playing the underdog now because everybody's saying somebody else. The Rams going to get it. I heard somebody said the Cowboys going to get it. And Philadelphia's going to take it, and all this kind of stuff. So the Saints are back in the underdog role again where they are better at. So I would agree with you. 12-4 and even 13-3 sounds good to me. I say because everywhere else we upgraded on. We upgraded everywhere along the defensive line. We upgraded at the tight end position. Remember, we were tight end by committee last year. Now we have Jared Cook there. Josh Hill is back there. We have good depth behind him. The offensive line is sturdier. Even though without Mark Ingram, we get Latavius Murray, who will help solve problems in the red zone. You got a healthy Ted Ginn Jr. You have a Mike Thomas on the other end, so you got weapons that can go along with Drew. A healthy Terron Armstead. The entire offensive line is healthy. Hopefully they stay that way. The defense was upgraded with Malcolm Brown added. Sheldon Rankins will come back a couple of months from now to contribute. We're sturdier, even stronger up in the interior of the line. DeMario Davis is still ferocious. We added some depth in our secondary. We fixing the kick return game. So with all those improvements, why would I not think that we can't go 13-3 or 12-4, even 13-3 again with all that last pressure and an improved team and a more focused team? Barring injuries, the Saints will eclipse 13, 12, or even 13 wins this year and win the South again. And it's just what it is. And I'm not talking from a Saints man perspective. I'm saying from a commonsensical standpoint. Is that the Atlanta Falcons are nowhere near us. They're not contenders to us anymore. Neither Carolina or Tampa Bay. These are not contenders for us no more. Me and you both know that. The whole family know that Atlanta's no longer a rivalry to us. We've been beating the hell out of Atlanta recently. Go back and look it up. We've been beating the hell out of them. We spanked Carolina one time so bad they had to fire most of their coaching staff. We beat them 3 times in a year, a year or so ago. Who does that? They're not rivals to us anymore. We done ascended to a point. We Super Saiyan 5 or 6 right now to my DBZ people, my DB super people out there. But we done ascended to a level, man, where we are sitting in a position where the only rivals that we can see is the Rams and maybe the Eagles. That's on that level. Elite teams in the NFC, those are our rivals. When you put the tape on, you watch the Saints play the Rams. That's much CTV. Because that's what it's about to us now. It's about getting to the Super Bowl. We're going to dominate the NFC South again, barring injury, and we're going to get to the highest level again. And hopefully we learn the lessons of the past 2 years, is which not relying too much on these younger players, because against Minnesota, we had a rookie that missed the tackle. Against the St. Louis Rams last year, we had basically a rookie who dropped the touchdown pass that could have helped us win the game in Dan Arnold. So the lessons of the past, maybe we could fix it. We got a lot of veterans here. And when you have that veteran here, I would rather rely on that veteran a little more than I rely on that rookie guy that never been there before. You get what I'm saying? So I agree with your family. 12-4, 13-3 is what my call is on there. Hoping I answered your question on that, my friend. But let's keep it moving, family. On that, Roscoe. I hope I answered your question on that, Roscoe. Also, let's see. Quincy said, man. Quincy says, man, teams really gunning for us like we won the Super Bowl. They know what's up. So do we. I agree with you. We coming. That's what Elite says. Can't wait till we smash the Rams. Watch. Verlin says, yes, Mr. T did. Mr. T did too, didn't he? See, all those are great guys. See, it's like, they like Hall of Fame guys. Like Mr. T was like a famous dude that made a lot of money. He was a superstar. Lawrence Taylor was a superstar. But it's a gap between that style and what's making Davenport pick it up. That's the weird part about that earring. That's true. See, we bringing out the people that wore the hanging earring. But everyone that donned the magical hanging earring has superpowers. You had Mr. T was boxing with Rocky and beat Rocky and became a champion in the movie. The magic of the hanging earring, the cross earring. But I guarantee you they ain't going to become a fashion statement. You get one dude every 20 damn years. And the closest you had Mr. T and Lawrence Taylor wearing at the same time, donning the magical, powerful hanging cross earring. Boy, I imagine what would have happened if you wear 2 of them. Could you imagine if you wear 2 of those hanging earrings? What kind of power you would get then? You would be on some Thor type stuff. You'd have lightning coming down like Shazam and all kind of stuff, man. Oh, man, y'all crazy, man. Y'all funny, man. Let's see. Charles said we played the Vikings, have a playoff loss, not a Rams revenge matchup. We got to get them. We got to get them. Mr. T thought he was a pimp. But, he explained that. I used to say, like, why is this dude wearing all this jewelry? Talking about Mr. T had 50 pounds of gold around his neck and gold everywhere. And and remember, he was the one that was making that mohawk popular. Mr. T was wearing a mohawk in the game before people even know what that was. He was rocking the mohawk with all that 50 pounds of gold around his neck. And he was sitting down on the show, and I thought he was just an angry man. I pity the fool. But, man, when Mr. T sat down, there was an interview on somewhere. I think he was on David Letterman or one of that. It was Letterman. That's what it was, a long time ago. And I happened to just catch it recently, maybe like 6 or 7 months ago, and catch Mr. T. And it's weird we talking about this because I watched it, and he was talking about where all that damn gold. He's like, well, I'm from, my ancestors are from Africa, but I wear the gold because the gold was such and such. It was something dealing with he was like, well, we had chains, and so we took it's a represent to let me know that I'm a king. And we used to wear chains. Now I wear chains of gold, letting them know that I'm successful. And he's talking about his businesses and the fact that he has a bodyguard license, and you can hire Mr. T to be your bodyguard. He was guarding like bureaucrats and stuff like that. He was telling them all. I was like, this dude is a fascinating dude. He ain't just an angry man. I pity the fool. You know what I'm saying? All that kind of stuff. B.A. Baracus. But, I mean, it's the power of the hanging earring, the power of the hanging cross. And you have to be a bad SOB to put two of them on. It'd probably be like Tony Stark's in the Avengers Endgame when he put the glove on, and you can't wear the glove for long. You snap the glove, it'll kill you. That's what happened if you put two of them goddamn hanging earrings on. You put them on, it'd almost be like Tony Stark with that when he put that Infinity Gauntlet on, and he had to snap it and it killed him. You put two of them on. If you ain't strong enough, it will kill you. But stop playing. Oh, man, it feel good, man. I tell you what. Let's see. Devin said, I didn't get the Atlanta talk. Their own fans here ain't convinced. Michael Thomas better mess over Talib and the Cowboys secondary. I feel on that Tramal. Roscoe said, thanks a lot. You answer well. Much appreciated. Thank you, Roscoe. Derek said, I think Onyemata is going to have the biggest improvements this season on the D-line. Remember, I said it first. Derek, you ain't too far off it, my friend. This is the year about Onyemata. Remember, it's the third. I think he's been here for 3 years. This is his show-up year. Remember, he was drafted, I think, the same year that Sheldon Rankins was. He came, I think Sheldon was first, and then Onyemata was like a third or fourth round draft pick. I think he came in the same draft with Sheldon Rankins, if I'm not mistaken. But he was super raw out of Canada. And they was trying to hit gold like they did when they had Hicks here, and they let Hicks walk out of here to Chicago, and he became an all-pro tackle. They were thinking they can do it with Onyemata. Onyemata was playing that first. He was totally raw, but this dude is ready this year. He got his power together. He got his technique together. He hasn't been a guy that dealt with that many injuries, but he's a dude that you better watch out for. So I'm with you on that, Derek. Watch him out. Devin said that was not our best team last year, and we still went 13-3. Actually, more talent offensive this year. My point exactly, Devin. Agree with you 100%, my brother. And that's absolutely true. Facts 100% right and exact. Like I keep saying, we had Michael Thomas. He had 125 catches last year. You go look at the statistics. The only man close to him was a running back by the name of Alvin Kamara, who had 81 catches in 15 games. He missed a game and still got 81 catches. And then you look down further, the only other dude close to those guys, one with 125, Mike Thomas, the other one with 81 catches, Alvin Kamara, was the tight end Ben Watson, who had like 31 catches. 31 catches for your starting tight end. And we actually ran a kind of tight end by committee approach. So we really had just two dudes, offensively speaking, skill position wise, and still turned into 13-3 performance. So I agree with you full-blooded that if you put out Jared Cook, you got a healthy Ted Ginn Jr., you got weapons all behind there. Listen to me well. I agree with you. 13-3 should be super easy for a team that was basically running with half the skill set. Tramal said, I want a dude to walk in Walmart wearing skinny jeans. He ain't gonna walk in Walmart. You're not gonna see a dude wear that earring, Tramal, in Walmart. You're not gonna see it because Walmart guys. That's for whoever is powerful enough to don the hanging cross earring. You won't see him in Walmart. He's gonna be a celebrity, a star. He's gonna excel at whatever he do. He's gonna be a top professional because that's the only ones that can wear that hanging cross earring. And whoa, boy, I tell you, if you got a guy that got the power to wear both, you better watch out. This dude gonna be strong enough to fly and stuff. Watch, you gonna see. Verda said, I agree with you, Q. Payday got to keep that Cheesecake Factory menu wide open. No more playing around. Got you on that, buddy. Charles said Mohawks versus Mullets. Rockwell said Mr. T was my hero back in the 80s. He used to watch him on Mr. T and Friends as well as the A-Team. Yep. B.A. Baracus and Mr. T. I remember the cartoon from the 80s. Yeah. Yep, old Mr. T. Yep, he was something else. I'm telling you, it's the power of the hanging earring. Quincy said, man, Mr. T, LT, Aaron Neville, throw it off. Davenport better channel that crazy energy. I'm telling you, man. And then the next year you're gonna see him. He gonna have 5 or 6, 7. Then watch, he might have 2 of them on. It's gonna be some crazy stuff going on there. That's where them people got that from. Wearing the earring, you merge together like some of the anime. I don't know if some of the family familiar with anime, but they, like the Dragon Ball and all that kind of stuff. Where they got a show on there where they take earrings, they put the earring on. One character put one earring on, the other character put an earring on, and then what they do is they merge 2 powerful characters together into a massive, powerful character, and then they can do anything. They can beat anybody. They can do anything. That's where they got it from, the hanging earring. I'm telling you. Quincy says, Mr. T, Tramos is laughing about it. Roswell says, Onyemata came out the same time rankings with 2 other Canadian players. Can you name the other corner that made a name that year? Was it Devin? Oh my goodness. See, I should know this. What's my boy name, man? Come on, answer me up, fella. Devin Bro, there we go. See, I almost have it. See, I tried to, it twists and turns, but it's so much going on up there. Devin Bro, that's right. Thank you, Roscoe. Tramal says, you're right, Q. Devin Frank, you'll see it here in ATL. Jason said, Devin Bro. Yep. And Quincy said, DB Fusion. Yes, Lord. That's what I'm telling you. The power of the hanging earring. And we got Mr. T, Lawrence Taylor, and now we got Davenport, Marcus Davenport, wearing the power of the hanging earring, the cross hanging earring. He will bring power to the defensive line of the Saints, instantaneous healing powers. And you're going to see Marcus Davenport step up and create great plays with the power of the hanging Aaron Aaron Neville's hanging cross earring. Telling you, it's powerful. It's going on, baby. It's something about it. I'm telling you, because too many guys that's wearing it, LT, Aaron Neville, Mr. T, all those guys ascended to stardom at their levels. Could Davenport be a continuation of that? Anyway, family, that'll do it for the live stream. I hope y'all had fun with me, man. I have fun with y'all every time we get up here and we talk. I hope y'all enjoyed the live stream. I'd like to thank y'all for tuning in and watching the live stream tonight. We had a fantastic game. The day was very entertaining. It wasn't a blowout, but it did show the fact that the Saints did come from behind and win the game 19-17 out on the enemy's territory. And that took big gumption for them guys to pull that off. So really, really, really love that. I really love that and respect that. And of course, there's a few other things we got to focus on. We did lose some guys in injury. We'll have injury report tomorrow, breaking the rest of that stuff down. We also have more reports going into the future. So what I want you guys to do for me, if you haven't already hit the like button in the chat, family, please do me a service and hit the thumbs up button, please, before you leave. Also, hit the bell to be notified of future content and subscribe if you aren't a subscriber, because we got some great things coming up that I know you guys want to be a part of. We got a console giveaway. We're giving out PS4 consoles start next month into the end of this year as a thank you to all of the great Sports Coma and Who Dat family members that helped build this magnificent platform for the family. I want y'all to be a part of that. It's a giveaway, and we'll have some information coming up next week for you on that. Also, like I said, feel free, family, to share the show with other family members like yourself as we continue to grow our magnificent, beautiful, and illustrious, intelligent Saints community together. It's awesome feeling to be able to meet with the fantastic, some of the brightest minds in the Who Dat Nation. I'm so glad that you guys are great and intelligent Saints family and not sensitive Saints fans like I often like to talk about. But great people make great family members as well. So I consider you family. And yeah, that's why I call you family. And that's what you are to me. We are the Who Dat family, and we are together through this entire season. We're going to be here riding through the right and the wrong, the good and the bad, and we're going to make sense of it all, baby. You better believe it, baby. We're going to make sense of it all, baby, including that hair, that hanging cross earring. We got to get to the bottom of it, baby. We got to find out what's going on with it. But anyway, like I said, family, I thank y'all, man, for joining us still on the live screen, man. I love y'all, man. Y'all, there's no greater fan base, a family base, than the Who Dat Nation, the black and gold diehard family, man. And we're going to ride together. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to make sure you're notified, and share the show on your social media, wherever you go, whether it's Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you go, family. Take the sports coma with you and say, I'm going to introduce you to this guy. He pretty funny. He know the Saints, and I think you will enjoy him too. So, and also remember too, family, we check in the description section below once the show goes live, or basically you can go to our YouTube page and look for the merch store. We have a merch store, merchandise, where you can buy the new shirts. We have several new shirts that advertise for the Sports Coma and the Black and Gold family. We have the Dat Slap shirt for people who are disrespectful to the Saints. Buy you the Dat Slap shirt. We got it for men, all sizes for the men, all sizes for the ladies, all size for the children. We got the coffee cups, all kind of merchandise for that. We also have the Chump Missioner shirt. It's the new Chump Missioner shirt. Is a rendition, a cartoon image of what appears to be Roger Goodell. It appears to be Roger Goodell. I have to throw that in there. But it appears to be Roger Goodell, and they got Chump circling around his empty head. Chump, chump, chump with Fleur de Leafs in between. Really nice shirt for a really fire shirt. Y'all guys will really love it. Dada, he got one. Bunch of the family members ordered one. So it's really good. We also have other shirts, several different designs for your liking, for men, women, children of all sizes, family. And of course, we'll give you a code to Big Q10. Big Q10, get you 10% off in the store as well. So it's more love we showing the family. And also one other thing, if you want to hear the Sports Coma live audio podcast, remember we audio podcast, you go to Spreaker.com/the Sports Coma. So remember, sign up for that. All those links will be in the description section once the video goes final, or you can go to our previous video. Those links are in that description section. So scroll down and take a look at those links in the description section. They'll lead you to the store. They'll lead you to Spreaker, so you can sign up. It's very easy, and you can listen to all the backlog shows from the Sports Coma. And it's the PRO Media Network with the Pelican Postgame Report, the Ring Kings Boxing World, and Tough Tiger Talk, and several other podcasts. A load of content on that Spreaker page. Y'all check it out, man. Big things happen in the Sports Coma world because of you. Because of you. Because of you, the lovely black and gold people that you are. So I'd like to thank all you guys for coming to the live stream tonight. Be on the lookout. I don't know if we'll do a live stream tomorrow. I'll let you know if we do. Probably be an audio podcast, so feel free to join me. Spreaker.com/the Sports Coma, family. Spreaker.com/the Sports Coma. So thank you guys for all the beautiful stuff that you do and all the support. Thank you. And who dat to the black and gold family. Peace.